Meep mop.
Meep
Meep mop. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another stream. My name, of course, is Hexblade, your head guildmaster and chief barista, and we have friend today. Say hi, friend.
Friend, hello.
Friend. I said say hi, not say friend, friend.
I said it anyway because I'm a rebel.
Oh, look at you. You're such a rebel.
Look at me, such a
Look
rebel.
at you, such a rebel. I hope everybody's...
I love that I get retweeted by Dave Oshry, and there's a typo in my tweet, so I can't fucking... It's too late.
Nice job, fucker. Nice job, loser. Idiot, you got retweeted by somebody good and there's a typo. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I got retweeted by somebody famous because we agree that the art style for Starfield slaps all things. Like, even... Like,
it does.
Say what you will about Starfield, the art team fucking absolutely killed it. Like,
oh no. I agree with you. The art team did it. They hit out of the park.
I think they called it NASA punk. Is the aesthetic? It's like NASA, but it's like,
which I'm pretty sure is just an excuse to, like, I know that there was already like an aesthetic that was already established under with those dynamics, but I just forgot what the name of it was.
Grounded like future. Like
future,
I would say Titanfall has the same aesthetic, but it's also going for the same goal of like,
nah,
it's the future, but it's like
Titanfall has more Titanfall has the more militaristic vibe going on.
It does go for
intentionally
milsim for sure, and like war isn't like the big focus of Starfield, in my experience with it at least. Like, there's tensions, but like they're not active. There's no active conflict.
You could say that war hasn't changed.
I guess. I just feel like there's not a lot to fight over because it's like humanity is Earth.
You're fighting for music. You're fighting for scraps. Good luck. Okay.
You're fighting for the few habitable planets that are out there and easy.
We're losing each one day by day. Nice, right? Cool. Anyway, today's Finding Out Friday. Congratulations on getting through another week. Your reward is to watch videos with me.
Yay.
And Brandon. Yay.
And me. Oh, I see Samus on my timeline.
You're included. Oh, nice. Samus?
Yes.
All right.
When are you playing Metroid? I know the answer is never. It's okay. I still like you. You're still cool.
What do you mean still like me?
I'm saying that...
Is our friendship that, like, so breakable?
No, I'm saying our friendship is so strong that the fact that you won't play one of the greatest franchises Nintendo's ever made is not something that will ruin our friendship.
Okay, should I play Metroid or Super Metroid?
If you're talking Metroid for the NES, don't ever play it.
Super Metroid it is.
Unless you're genuinely that curious, or you can play an old janky NES game and don't care that it's old and jank, then like play Super Metroid. If you care about chronology at all, just play Metroid Zero Mission.
Why would I care about
Metroid story doesn't matter that much.
It doesn't.
It matters.
Ooh, bug in space.
When it does matter, it matters in like to that game, and for the most part, nothing else. The fact that they recap the story of pretty much every Metroid game in any other Metroid game that is a sequel, kind of. Yeah. But the baby is in Super Metroid, and she can go back and play Samus Returns if she wants to fucking learn about the baby. Or Other M. You can play Other M if you hate yourself.
I don't hate myself that much.
It's not a horrible game, truthfully. It's just one of those games where it's like, this should not have been a Metroid game.
Other baby.
Or you should have, like, I don't know. Like, I told you about do you know about the controls for Other M?
No.
I also realize we're going on a tangent. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We're basically stalling. It counts.
So Other M's, you played it by you played a 3D action game by holding a Wiimote horizontally.
Oh,
with
NES style?
in your left, NES style. And then you would have first-person segments where you would point the Wiimote at the screen and aim down sights. And it would, like, you would shoot missiles and fire your charge beam that way. It was very dumb. You healed by pointing the Wiimote up and holding down, like, a button, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. Yeah, that was entirely because despite the fact that Ninja Theory begged the director to let them use the nunchuck like Metroid Prime did and a
Yeah,
lot of other
why?
Wii games,
Yeah,
he
they
was
they
like,
didn't.
no. He thought
Nest
it was.
style,
He said we're doing it NES style.
which is honestly really bad.
I feel like that's something that could have been patched in later into the game's development cycle
Oh,
compared to
new
some of the
well,
other
like
Fox design decisions,
like
but
new like new play control style or whatever that they had. Play
yeah, where
control
they like
folder.
patched in
Like
motion
for the Wii.
controls to GameCube games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know those were like pretty much straight ports, and they had like little minimal code edits aside from the
How many
obvious like
times are we going to
right.
just talk about the fact that
The Wii
I mean,
was
how
a
many times are we going to talk
fascinating
about
system.
the Wii is two GameCubes put together with duct tape? Like
We'll never stop talking about
we're
it.
never going to stop talking
We'll
about it.
stop talking about it when like fucking millennials and millennials born in the time when they had a GameCube as a child stop being relevant, and a Wii. So it's gonna be a little while. It's gonna be like another.
Like
10
why can't we
years.
keep why can't we talk about how the Xbox was basically just a PC?
People
A
have been
Pentium.
talking about that.
Well, they need to keep talking about it more because I don't hear it.
The only part that isn't true is the graphics card. The graphics card isn't similar to any NVIDIA card that they made for anything else.
Wait, what? What is it?
It's correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe it's. I'm gonna look it up. It's its own like, proprietary. Oh my gosh, I want original. Because I search Xbox and I get the Xbox website. And I don't fucking care about that. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the CPU was a custom-made 733 megahertz Intel Pentium 3 copper mean based processor. The graphics was an NVIDIA GeForce 3 based NV2A GPU, which ran at 233 megahertz and was capable of 20 G flops. So
Is this a good time to switch off to another tangent about me bitching about the Switch 2?
oh, is this about how people on Twitter have once again extremely unrealistic and dumb expectations of?
They need to shut up. They actually need to stop talking.
Yes, please, people who think that the Nintendo Switch will be a 120 hertz powerful console to compete with the Xbox Series X and PS5, please stop posting.
Please stop posting.
I don't know why we're still here. It happens every time, and it made sense in the GameCube era, and it kind of made sense in the Wii era, and since the Wii U onward, it hasn't made any sense. It's like Nintendo doesn't want to make powerful hardware anymore.
Switch 2 not posting, yeah. Like no one's like it doesn't matter. No one legitimately cares.
Like I want to actually understand the mentality, because it's like, okay, who are the people that are buying a Nintendo console because it's powerful? It's like people buy Nintendo consoles because they have incredible games.
Mario's on it. Sweet.
Like,
done.
Yeah, it's like people literally bought a console that didn't have color because it had Mario on it. And if the issue is like, oh, Mario doesn't look as good as fucking, I don't know, Spider-Man.
You say that, but it also that console also came with Tetris. So
yeah, well, you get my point. Like, people will buy if it plays Pokemon and Mario and Smash. People will probably buy it unless it's the Wii U. Then they won't buy it.
I heard people buy
or
it
the
Smash.
Virtual Boy, which also had a weird 3D Tetris.
It didn't even have a Mario game, didn't
yes,
it?
It did.
I thought it had a Wario game.
Yeah, I guess it did have a Wario game, but you know what I mean.
It had Mario Tennis.
Like, Nintendo if you look at the sales of Nintendo consoles, the NES came out. The NES did really well. The SNES came out. It sold worse than the NES, despite I would argue it being a better console in every regard and being more competitive.
Yeah, but there was also a sentiment at the time with the SNES, people saying, "What do you mean I have to buy another?"
Yeah, but still,
which was unique for the time, to be honest. It was literally the second console generation. They're like, "What do you mean there's more of them?"
It was later than the second console generation, but yeah. And then you had the N64, which sold even worse than the SNES did, despite the market being bigger. And yeah, part of that was due to Nintendo doing dumb decisions and like the PS2 being big. And then the GameCube came out, and once again, Nintendo made dumb decisions, but also, again, it sold worse than the N64, and they were like, okay, fuck it, we're not going to make a powerful console. We're going to duct tape 2 GameCubes together, and we're going to put motion controls in it, and we're going to sell 100 million units, which is better than any console they had made up until that point had sold.
And the second most, best console ever. Or is it third?
If you look, so if you go to Wikipedia and you look at game console sales.
Already?
If you go to list of best-selling video game consoles, number 1 is the PlayStation 2 from Sony, which sold over 155 million units.
It's also
number 2 is the Nintendo DS, which is 154.02 million.
Number 3 is the Wii?
No, number 3.
Oh, is that the Switch?
Is the Switch at 32 million and 0.46 million consoles. Like, and you know what's below that is the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, which combined sold 118.69 million units.
Like, irregardless of the
Wii was outsold by the PS1 and the PlayStation 4. Like, it sold really well, but the PS1 and PS4 outsold it. Like, it did outsell the 360 and the PS3 by a sizable margin, but like, and it was Nintendo's best-selling console for a long time.
To be honest, a rock on a stick could sell more than a PS3.
The PS3 sold really well though. Not initially, but like later on.
It sold consoles well. It didn't sell games because it didn't have any games.
Eventually, it got some.
Eventually.
Like Uncharted's really good.
Hey, I'm Nathan Drake here for Subway. Here with Subway, you can win.
How many PS5s?
I don't even remember the whole Hold on. I bet we can find it. This is a good excuse to go over to the actual.
Yeah, we're gonna actually watch content now. We're gonna watch the Subway ad.
We're gonna watch the Subway ad.
I wonder if Nolan North even thinks about that ad anymore. Probably not the worst ad he's had to do. It's probably easy money for him.
Did you know that
worse things you could sell your soul to than Subway?
Oh, did you know that 9S did a ad for, I believe it was Heinz ketchup?
No, I didn't know that. Is it the English or the Japanese?
English.
Oh, that's funny. The actor. I thought you meant like he was playing his character.
No, but he uses the same fucking voice.
Isn't that just his voice?
A little bit. And it was really funny. Hold on. Do we have any clips of him doing ad reads, or is this just actual content?
I think this.
Oh my god, it's just actual content. Good for him.
Well, did you know he streamed? I think him and the voice actors for 2B streamed the entirety of.
Yeah, there's a whole there's a whole playlist. Also, they voiced over, readings of the stuff from the concerts.
That one's great too because they don't know the full story because they just hear what they voice acted. They don't know all the lines that aren't voiced. Also, stuff probably gets cut too.
Wait, hold the fuck up. Wait, what?
What?
I didn't realize this bitch was here.
Yeah, that's who he plays him. You know.
I guess I'll get more signatures from him when I meet him eventually. Anyway. Are we gonna play the Nathan Drake ad? Are we actually?
We should actually watch the Nathan Drake ad.
Hey, I'm Nathan Drake.
Oh, your blur effect is still on.
Then get in on the Subway Taste for Adventure for a chance to win epic trips and exclusive access to Uncharted 3. Get your code on 30-ounce drinks today. Subway, where winners eat. Ow.
Subway, where winners eat.
Ow.
It's certainly a lie. Alma, your blur is still on.
I know. I'm working on it.
Okay. You don't just have a thing you can just turn off?
It's a filter.
You can't just go abracadabra and turn off the filter. Anyway.
Okay, fine. Abracadabra. Fuck you, I guess.
I love that art of Fuamoko.
Oh. It's gone
art
now.
Of, like, Fuawa's carrying Mokoko's lifeless corpse.
And then, Bibu is
being carried by Narissa, it looks like.
No, that's...
I can't tell.
I can't tell.
It's small. Anyway,
we should, like, watch a thing.
Also, it's a 32-ounce drink, so I'm like, okay, that's not healthy at all.
Is that what you're on?
No, I'm just thinking about it.
The Nathan Drake ad, and you're I know
Like,
it was like the Nathan Drake ad, and your only complaint is, "Dang, that's a big soda." Like what?
It's a medium at Whataburger.
I've never. When I
Actually,
go there,
I see that.
eventually, I will be so terrified about everything. I'm like, can I have a large sweet tea? And I'm gonna have something that I'll be able to put into it like a Camelback.
Alma, the large cups, unless you're getting ice cream, because you know how it is like a big gulp. It's 44 ounces. I love that the AI generated answer just lies about the size. That's so funny. Good job, Google. Yeah, drinks. So a soft drink.
I kind of want one now because you said
The
that.
the medium is 32 ounces. The large is 44 ounces. The small is 20 ounces, and the kids is 16 ounces.
Oh, kids, that's 60.
This is why we're all fat where I'm from.
Yeah. Okay. Well, want to watch?
They
this
do
one?
have that jalapeno cheddar biscuit though.
I'll eat 7 of them. I can eat. I'll eat 7 of
From 11
those.
p.m. to 11 a.m. And
I'll
a
eat
Dr. Pepper shake back for a limited time.
I'll eat 12 of those. Okay. Like, if we're gonna talk about food, we can do a tangent about food. Also, when I said that we needed to vamp before stream, I didn't mean this hard. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, LGR video. It's about soft RAM, not hard RAM. Soft RAM. Soft.
In 1995, a company by the name of
Oh, it's not
Synchronous
LGR.
Soft
My bad.
Corp released a product that had
It's Michael
some
and
pretty
JD.
amazing claims. It was a piece of software called SoftRAM, a so-called RAM
not
doubling
paging.
software for Windows. It claimed
What?
to double your computer's memory
this just
without having to
paging?
go through the hassle and expense
I
of getting
think it's a little bit
actual
worse.
RAM and performing a hardware
Oh,
upgrade.
gosh.
With SoftRAM,
don't
4
know how it could be
megabytes
worse.
becomes 8 megabytes, and 8 megabytes becomes 16
So for those who don't
megabytes.
know,
There's
paging
no
is
need
where
for hard
if your
RAM
RAM
because
fills up on your
SoftRAM works
computer,
with
it gets
all
written to
386
disk.
and
It's
higher
not ideal,
desktop
but it
and
stops your computer from
laptop
just crashing
computers.
instantly.
And with its one-click, one-time installation, it was ideal for those computer users who wanted to start using more resource-intensive programs right away.
you a
Sounds
I'm
incredible,
Nathan Drake,
right?
and I'm gonna watch
Well,
Ego
the only
Raptor
thing
shoot
was,
melons out of a catapult.
it was a total
I'm
scam.
dead. Oh wait, it was a scam.
Or, let's find. Let's see.
This is a brand new copy of SoftRAM that I purchased just for your entertainment. Today we're going to open up this software for the first time
Soft
since it left the
scam.
factory
Oh,
25
okay.
years ago. The version I have here is the first release of SoftRAM designed for Windows 3.1. It was released in May of 1995, 3 months before Windows 95 launched. The contents of the box are contained inside of a cardboard insert. Opening this up reveals a pamphlet that has everything we need to get started. There's an instruction manual, a registration card, and yeah, apparently Synchronous sold merch like a t-shirt and hat that you could actually
That's
get by sending this card
weird.
in. And
I want a
finally,
t-shirt.
one single floppy disk that contains the entire program. Alright, so that's what you would get in the
I mean,
box
that's
when
not
you
that
purchased
abnormal for
SoftRAM.
the-
but
I'm just
what
like,
did
I
it
want a
actually
t-shirt, though.
install on your computer? When you
That'd be
insert
fun.
the floppy disk and run the setup executable, the first thing that you'll see is a splash screen saying, "Congratulations on purchasing SoftRAM." The setup wizard
Thanks?
itself is extremely basic. It will ask you for your name and company and let you choose where you want to install the program. Since the entire program is contained on a single floppy disk, the program only requires 950 kilobytes of hard drive space. This
Yeah, that
also
makes
means
sense.
that the
So far,
program
this sounds
installs rather
pretty
quickly.
normal.
Once it
Normal?
finishes copying files, a message box will appear informing us that we have 15,360 kilobytes of extended RAM.
That's
And
I
that's
feel.
it.
I
The wizard then
downloaded. We
prompts you to
downloaded
restart
more
your
RAM.
PC
We
for
got
the
'em.
changes to take
We
effect.
ordered it
So
through the
we'll do
mail.
that. Upon logging back into Windows, you'll see that SoftRAM has enshrined itself in a splash screen that will
Oh.
display every time you log into
lovely.
Windows. Now, the SoftRAM program itself is pretty basic.
Don't
All
like
of the
that.
quote-unquote
that's such an
functionality of the
interface.
program is contained on this one single screen. Here
Speedometer. We
have
gotta have the
two
skeuomorphism or else.
One showing the amount of soft RAM that the system has available to it, and the other showing the amount of free RAM the system has. The center contains stats about how much physical RAM, soft RAM, virtual memory, and total memory that the system has available to it. When soft RAM is running, the gauge on the left will automatically max out. Now you'll notice that the soft RAM and physical RAM meters in the center are about the same. This machine has 16 megabytes of RAM. Soft RAM is saying that it's giving the system an additional 16 megabytes of soft RAM, meaning that the system should have 32 megabytes of RAM available to it. All of the program's controls are contained at the bottom of the application. The arrows on the left allow you to
I think one of my old
increase or
GPs had an
decrease the amount
overclocking
of
utility that
soft
looked like
RAM
a gamer
available
version
to
of
the
this.
system. Next to that, we have a
You might be
pop-by
thinking
indicating
about
tables of the program. The most basic options
might be from
menu I've ever
MSI
seen, which gives you
Afterburner?
literally
Did MSI
one
Afterburner
option to have the
have
application
utility that
stay
looks
on
something like
top
this?
of other windows or not.
I don't know. I've never used it.
And finally, the
I
help
know that
documentation.
they had
Soft
software
RAM
that
also
looked like this,
includes
though.
a README document in the program group, but it contains the exact same info as the help documentation.
I mean,
It
that's
goes
not
into
a
more
bad thing.
detail about
That's
how the
fine.
program works, or at least allegedly works.
All right, how
There's
does it
actually
work?
a decent
What's
amount
the
of
where?
information
What's the
contained in
lie?
here. It talks about virtual memory and how demand paging works, for example.
Hey.
SoftRAM claims to dynamically compress the contents in physical RAM by using its RAM analyst tool to calculate the most efficient compression method.
How are you
It
doing
also
this on a
claims to
386?
defragment memory in real time to create more contiguous memory. It basically makes it sound like it's a super advanced and sophisticated piece of software. The problem is, though, the program doesn't do any of these things.
Say, it's like,
So that begs the question,
that's
what does software
What does it
actually
do?
computationally expensive.
Well, the short answer is not much. In late 1995, numerous publications released articles
gonna say,
where
this
they
seems like it's easy
investigated
to test.
SoftRAM's claims. One German publication did a very thorough analysis of SoftRAM.
German.
Despite the fact that the program claimed to double your computer's RAM by using patent-pending compression technology, it in fact did not even attempt to perform any compression at all. SoftRAM's interface
say.
essentially
It was Afterburner,
falsified
I knew
the
it!
statistics shown on the gauges. You weren't
I
going to
had
get
MSI
double
Afterburner.
memory or any memory compression, no matter how you configured the application. The only thing the program really did was increase the size of your page file.
yeah, I
The
knew
page
it.
file, commonly also known as the swap file, essentially acts as a form of
It's called
virtual
swap
memory
file 'cause
that is
that's what it is
stored
on
on the
Linux.
hard disk.
And
It allows
Linux.
the operating system to store certain data when the machine's physical RAM capacity has been exhausted. But the thing is, you could easily do this yourself for free, without having to spend $79.95.
Jesus.
Yeah,
And that's
you
in the
heard me right. This
90s.
piece of junk sold for $80. At least the version created for Windows 95 did.
Hold on,
The
what's
Windows
conversion rate
3.1
on that?
version sold for
How much was
Okay,
it?
I'm pulling it up. Okay, I'm trying to find. I don't know which of these are
Use
legit.
the
Okay,
the
wait. Federal
Bureau.
Reserve Rank of Minneapolis. This is
Yeah,
probably
that's
valid.
yeah. I know there's governmental like.
I'm just
ones for
going
it.
with the government one because it's free. And
They're all right.
So that's the
honestly.
equivalent today of $159.04.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's
$150 for
yeah.
a software that
$160 dues.
That's
for
like-
software
that's-
that literally does functionally nothing.
that's the digital version of going to like
To be fair, there was a lot of bullshit software like this in the 90s that was specifically sold to people who didn't know shit about computers.
yeah, I was gonna say is like this feels like the digital version of like
There's a
getting
so that-
scammed by a mechanic is what I'm trying
There's
to
a
say.
version
There we
you
go.
have that. There's a version of that type of thing you can do today, but now it's a subscription. It's called McAfee, or any antivirus program that you can pay for or get for free, except for like Windows Defender, basically.
I was like, you have Windows Defender. It comes installed in your fucking computer.
Hi, Ali.
Hi, Allie. Okay.
We're here talking about page files.
Entertaining content,
a
riveting
much
content.
lower price of $29.95. SoftRAM 95 was released right when Windows 95 launched in August of 1995.
Makes sense.
The installer
Sorry, I'm
is
doing
pretty
stuff
much
on the
the
background.
same, along with the program. Aside from the
miss when
95
install screens
branding,
look
the
like
two
this.
editions of the
I do
program
too. I
look
like
identical.
this.
I've
And
set
just
up
like the original
programs
version of SoftRAM,
a few years
95
ago
makes absolutely
specifically that
no
looked
attempt
exactly
to
like
compress
that
any
for their
memory
installer.
or double your RAM. I'm not exactly
On a
sure
modern
what
computer.
made Synchronous think that charging an
I miss
additional
my wife
$50 for
tits.
this version of the program was justifiable. When these
Also,
reports started to
Windows 3.1
surface, it
program
was
worked on
initially
Windows
believed that
95.
only the version of SoftRAM for Windows 95 did not work as intended, something that
there's an
Synchronous
options
actually
menu.
publicly acknowledged. But upon further investigation, people discovered that the older version of SoftRAM for Windows 3.1 also does not make any attempts to compress memory. Despite all of this,
So it doesn't
Synchronous
even
was
do
able
the
to
job
sell
it's
over
meant to do?
700,000 copies of both versions of
Calculate how
SoftRAM
much money did they
in
make
May and
out with.
December of 1995. These people purchased SoftRAM because it was advertised as a cheaper but just as effective alternative to purchasing actual RAM and performing a memory upgrade on your system. I mean, the FAQ document even has the balls to claim that SoftRAM functions exactly like physical RAM, and that it
not
effectively
accurate.
Except
doubles the amount of
slower
memory
as
available to
shit.
Windows
Yeah,
applications.
especially because it's a
As you can
hard drive.
imagine,
Talk
it
about-
didn't take long for the US government to get involved.
Yo, let's go!
It's a
Trade
parallel
Commission
hard
started an
drive. Oh, hell yeah,
investigation
let's go.
into Synchronous towards the end of 1995.
FTC time!
Oh, man, they got caught in less than 4 months.
One by one and found
They
that
sold almost a
SoftRAM
million
95
copies and
does
got
not
caught.
use compression technology, or at least double the RAM available to a computer using Windows 95. Nor does it achieve RAM compression ratios of up to 5 times and higher in a computer using Windows 95. In fact,
Was that a
SoftRAM
claim?
95 does not increase the RAM available to a computer using Windows 95. The report also found that Microsoft Incorporated, which, yeah, by the way, guys, that was not Microsoft's actual company name, has not licensed, endorsed, or otherwise approved SoftRAM 95 for use with Windows 95. Now, this is noteworthy
Footnote.
because on SoftRAM 95's packaging, Synchronous had put the design for Windows 95
Oh,
logo, something
no.
they only put on
No.
products that went through Microsoft's logo testing program. Now,
You
in that
can't
article that I
do
mentioned
that.
previously, Synchronous claims that they did get approval to use the logo, but in September of 1995. A Microsoft employee quoted in the same article provides some further clarification, saying that while Synchronous did submit a version of SoftRAM for logo testing, the version they actually shipped was an older version containing bugs that was not submitted for testing. I will leave the full article in this
Ew.
video's description. It's definitely worth a read.
This
if
is-
you want to
sold
hear more about
buggy
the testing methodology
lie
performed on the
software.
program.
This
and
is
how
the tech drama
publication
we're
came
here
to the
for.
conclusion that SoftRAM
We're only
didn't do
30
anything
years
it
late.
claimed to do. When reports of SoftRAM's
We're here for the
lack of
tea.
functionality came out, some began to
Oh, I'm gonna
refer
be
to the
30.
product
That's what the
as
T in
placebo
FTC stands for,
software,
actually.
a program that relies
Federal
on the
Tea
placebo
Commission.
effect, hoping that the user, by simply seeing a gauge saying your memory is being doubled, will simply believe it and attribute any faster performance they think they experience to SoftRAM doing just what it said it would do.
See, I feel like this would work better now than back then.
No, I still think it wouldn't work unless it was given to a layperson.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what the target audience was for this software, was the lay audience.
Sure,
But the problem
like,
is that
enough
we're
people
still-
are gonna notice that it isn't working too
Well,
quick.
I was gonna say, it was like we're still in Windows 95 and 3.1 and all that. We're still in this age where like people who knew how to use computers, like knew a shit ton of computers, right? You know what I mean, right? Like the
95
technical
is-
experience of the 95 3.1 user is tired.
I don't know. 95 was starting to get to that era where like computer sales exploded because of dial-up, and 95 making computers significantly more accessible.
And AOL and all that jazz.
Well, that's what I said. Internet, like dial-up internet and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like that's the time
I mean,
when
it
was
had
rolling
the
out.
design for Windows 95 logo on the box, so it
Just
must
the
have been
design for
approved by
Windows
Microsoft,
95
right?
is just
In
getting me
1996,
so much.
Synchronous faced not
They
only
sell to
the
Mac users.
investigation, but also
They believe 8
individual lawsuits
gigabytes of
from
RAM is the same
customers
as 16
decided to
gigabytes on
settle all of
PC.
these
Hardy
disputes.
har
no, I
har.
feel
While
like
I
that's
wasn't
just
able
Apple
to
that
find
believes
the
that.
exact amount of money
Hardy
the companies
har
fined
har.
or had to pay in these lawsuits, they did come to an agreement with the FTC to pay a rebate to any SoftRAM user
Oh,
that
that's
requested
just
it.
such a soft.
So it all worked out in the end, right?
Wow.
Well, no, not really. The crazy thing is, this rebate was only $10.
Wow.
Yeah, so unfortunately, nobody got 100% of their money back, except possibly for those customers who filed a lawsuit against Synchronous directly.
But
It's likely that Synchronous wasn't even able to pay back the $10 rebates.
Oh, come on.
The company filed for bankruptcy in 1998,
Oh my
with
God.
over $4.5 million in debt and only $200,000 worth of assets. In an interview with CNET, Haley Ramir, the company's bankruptcy counsel, stated, "I can't even tell you how many creditors there are because there are all these $10 rebates." CNET tried to bounce back from the scandal, releasing a few other Windows utilities in the late 90s, but the damage had already been done. Despite the fact
Why
that the
even
company's
try?
CEO tried to claim that the company's problems were history, people didn't forget the SoftRAM incident. And for a company that released a product that ended up not doing anything it claimed to do, why would they? That's all for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed the bizarre but interesting story of
finally the
If you
silent
did, be sure to give this
finally the proper
invisible
invisible hand does it.
The invisible hand comes up to you and flips you off. You can't tell, but it's there.
Something something marketplace of ideas something.
I know that's different. That's not the same thing.
Marketplace of ideas. Well, this idea sucked dick, so did that
Alright,
do any
wait.
better in the joke department? Okay, it sounds like it didn't. All right, I'm gonna move on.
Well, what do we got next?
Oh, a silly little toy that I want to buy that costs 599 United States
The
dollar.
widescreen beauty of a cutesy experimental.
This
sampler.
box is one of the
It's
most
cute.
hyped instruments on
Music.
Kickstarter this year, and I supported it. Let's check it out.
It's a
Thank you so much
cutesy
for
little
supporting Jumpy Kickstarter.
thingamabob. Look,
Oh, it does.
it's
look very
cute.
pretty. USB
and has
cable,
mechanical keys.
quick starter.
This is the Kickstarter Pink and Gold edition, of which only
Damn.
600 exist.
Now it works. Ooh.
Mori
Damn.
is playing Metal Wolf.
Who?
Mori.
Plug it in
Palette.
somewhere.
Hallie.
Noises.
Pitch. Endless encoder. Magic.
There's a very good amount of serotonin that's flowing through my body right now. Do you feel it?
It's got a vibe. I've been playing a lot of Half-Life related stuff recently, so CP violation just plays on my head endlessly.
This kind of does sound like an ambient Half-Life track.
I wouldn't go that far.
A little. Oh, okay. Okay.
It's got synths that don't make it a
It has synths. Oh my god, it's sci-fi.
I can't believe they've done it. Fantastic composition.
It sounds funky, but it also
It is making
looks
nice
like a toy
sounds
box.
out of the box from that sign that's in here, but I'm not really understanding how things work yet.
Recording. Playing. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's.
This is the
something.
audio equivalent of this is the audio equivalent of jangling keys in front of my face. I hear a sine wave and I go, ooh.
Okay.
Hear the sine wave
get
in
it
my
now.
soy face.
That's my effect.
My face when sine wave. Oh, ghosty noise.
It's now the looper.
Ooh. On one hand, I think they're like these are lovely to have. On the other hand, I feel like people who buy
That's cool.
synthesizers have too much money than it's worth.
I mean, usually they're people who make music, so I think it kind of makes sense in that case.
True.
Easy to build
Especially if
something.
you have
Okay,
a
let's
lot
try
of
that again.
experience with music
Clear? How
production,
do I
you're not
clear?
just getting started.
Both?
Like if you're getting started, it's
How
kind
do I
of a
clear
waste,
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I need to read the manual.
Hold play and pause plus loop.
This is why I own 3
Okay.
so
that was it. Worked like I expected.
3 whatchamacallits,
So let's record
pocket
some
operators.
vocals Here.
Yeah, but those
But
are
no actual instruments. Yeah. But they're good.
Play back.
like I think DankPod did a video on synthesizers, and he's like, if you have an iPad or an iPhone, or a Mac, use just GarageBand. Boom, you got a synthesizer.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Congratulations. You don't need to spend any money that you haven't already spent.
On the iPad.
Yeah, but you can get an iPad for pretty cheap these days, especially if you only want a garage.
Well, actually, well, if you own a Nintendo Switch, you have a synth. If you own a Game Boy, you own a synth. If you own a DS, you own a synth. Because Korg sells like synthesizer like software for them that replicates some of their popular synths. I've never used it because I could not figure out how to. But they're there and they're like $10. But I also like fiddling with like knobs and buttons and dials and stuff instead of perusing through menus. So I'm always a physical synthesizer type person. The feedback you get is also good, you know?
The hand feel.
It's very easy to do something beautiful with this.
The hand feel, opposite of
Manual.
mouth feel.
What is even the shift button?
I've read the
opposite
manual
mouth
of it,
feels
which
above
is
the
handily
alright,
also
it's
on the back side here.
Ooh, information.
And I figured out now that the Chompy button is also the shift button, which unlocks a whole bunch of different features, which is very handy. But now I want to see if I can make a little piece with this. And first of all, I'm going to sample an instrument into here. And I'm going to start with, my ancient OP1 that just shut itself off.
I still need to buy like I want to buy like a used OP1 because for some reason people really sell them for ridiculously cheap even though the battery's just dead.
There's
And I'm like,
a lot of space before
it's a
it plays.
user replaceable
Check
battery.
out
What the
this.
fuck is wrong with you guys?
They might not know how to do it.
Oh
or
no,
it
it's
might,
like you.
might be more work than they're willing to put in.
No, it's you clip off the back and it's like an old cell phone.
Oh,
of that probably
there's
needed.
also I think there's
Delay.
newer synths, and maybe they just want something that fits their new use case better.
From Teenage Engineering? No.
It is very
They may
lush.
not be specifically getting from Teenage Engineering though.
And now
there's other
a
synths
little
out
bit
there.
of that overdrive.
Okay, true. I like synthesizers. They make funny noises.
Now I can pitch this down in tune.
Oh no, I over-recorded it.
Okay, so that will happen because the shift button has different functions, whether I'm in jammy mode or in chompy mode.
The
So
noise.
right now I just used it as a record.
Thanks,
button,
Stream
so I deleted
Elements.
what I recorded.
That's so
Let's
late.
record again.
API moment.
Real API moment.
Go here. Now I want to save the sound. Let's see how that works. That's always the most complicated operation on any instrument.
I like
So
at least the back of the thing has sort of a manual.
there are
And then
all
you have to
these
pull the actual
handy little
manual.
numbers on the manual, but none on the keys. Look at how
That's-
good this is done on the OP1.
That's a little obnoxious.
Nothing
actually.
here, so you have to remember them. Shift,
Is this
Save.
company's like first product?
and now I can save
Maybe?
this here. Okay.
It might be why there's some like
It's
a little
saved now.
quirks because new products are always like
Good.
A company's
So you
first
have to
product is
learn
always
this, as
weird
well as all
in
the
a
other
category, and
functions.
then usually the
But
second show is
could
when they
those
iron out
not
a lot
have
of the
been
weirdness.
printed on the buttons? 'Cause
Yeah,
it is logical.
That happens with
And
everything.
there's nice color coding to help you with things.
with
but
some exceptions.
we
Can you
now
think-
also
actually, can you think of a
resample things.
software or
So
hardware device that
therefore,
was
I
good
have
Generation
to go
1?
to shift and input select, which is
Yeah,
this. So I have
I'm
to go
sure
like
if you give me
this.
enough time.
Good. Now I go to recording.
The launch Wii was
And I'm
better
gonna
than the
play.
subsequent refreshes.
Oh yeah, no, the launch. Yeah, oh, true. You're right. The launch was the best.
I'm gonna resample this.
You could say that I would say the PS3 in terms of features, but the PS3's
It's a gorgeous review.
changes were mainly due to make it cheaper because people
stop
hated
here.
how expensive it was.
So now.
True.
And also the launch PS3s had some failure rate
Cool.
issues.
Let's
Not
see
as
how
bad as the
orchestral
Red
we
Ring,
can
but
get.
they were not great.
Yellow.
Let's make the attack a bit softer on this.
Funny
Therefore, I
noises.
press this, and then
I think let's skip ahead because it is just kind of a demonstration of, you know,
Mhm.
it.
la 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 la.
Oh wow.
Once you've set up a bunch of loops, it can be fun. And the thing is, you have to always just use your ear and your imagination. And there's no screen, there's no way you can actually like edit anything. It's a bit like a very, 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 very
No
simple
screen isn't like a
MPC
problem
in that regard.
right?
And the
I don't think it's
simplicity
that
is
bad of a
actually
problem.
kind of fun. It forces you to just roll with things instead of overthinking too much, which is something I always enjoy. And that, yeah,
I
made me
enjoy
a bit more
overthinking.
appreciative of Chompy. I didn't know
Honestly.
this mode existed. I had no idea, and it is a bit hidden in the manual, even I find, because I think this is actually very powerful. While editing in Kabi mode, though, some things weren't saved correctly, I felt. Like pitch information would always be slightly different from before, while backwards and forwards position seemed to work just fine. Now, along with all the other bugs that I've encountered, I think there's still
It sounds like it
work to be
quantizes
done with this.
information a little weird though.
My first
you
impression
know.
of Chompy is mixed. I
Chompy.
love the effects section, the looper. That is absolutely fantastic. It is very tape style, and the jog wheel is just a perfect interface for that. And it's no wonder that I like how they implemented it, because according to the team who emailed me after realizing that I had supported their Kickstarter and were just about to ship my unit, in fact, a couple of your video projects have made a pretty significant impact on some of our design choices as we've been creating Chompy's workflow. And yeah, so this part and the effects, absolutely wonderful. The sound engine as a whole sounds rather good. In using this, I had to look up a bunch of things in the manual, which is surprising because this seems to be also marketed for education and for kids, even though it has all the professional interface options. The full manual even says better have your cheat sheet ready, which I don't think should be necessary. Because, yeah, I mean, things are written on the keys here, and they could be written the same on the keys here, I think. It's not ideal to have the shift function not clearly labeled. And it introduces some user errors as well. Then we've got the point of haptics. I don't think these keys are ideal for playing the keyboard. The OP1 has a similar style of keys.
It looks
which
good
are
for
a
just,
bit
like,
computery,
fiddling.
more like laptop keys, but it's way more logical. They're bigger, they're more flat, and there's a division between the white and the black keys that is helpful in figuring out where things are while not looking at the keyboard. If you come from a programming background, you might prefer these function keys as your keyboard. For a first product, Chompy is very impressive, and they're trying something new, and I really like that. From what I read in the manual, this is designed to be customizable. So you can put in different keys
Customizable
here,
how,
different
though?
knobs, all different kind of things, different
like
faceplates,
eh.
which is interesting. But of course,
Physically customizable. I feel like
creates
that's a cop out.
these sharp edges overall. I think this makes it feel cheaper than it actually is, because yeah, this is the special edition, but it cost me about 800 euro with import, and that's the price you can get a used OP1 for. Alternatively, the VSS 30 still exists.
Oh,
and
just
you
buy-
could get something like the Chroma console, and you would still be about the
Just
same
buy
price.
an old
And that would be
Yamaha.
also a fun combination, which
Is
could
a
do similar
very
things
interesting
to
take,
Chompy.
actually.
Another very cheap but very powerful alternative to Chompy are the Brambos plugins, Salome, Fluss, and Gauss. Fluss and Gauss I developed together with him, and Salome is basically his take on a simple sampler keyboard. It's all on the iPad, on the iPhone. That said, it is a unique instrument made for a very specific free-floating style of making music, which I find wonderful that it exists. And it does look very, very cute.
It is so cute that I promised my youngest daughter Rosa that she would get to explore it once I was done with this video. She loves the OP1 and all the other keyboards I have, as well as
What is that
noisemakers.
funky
So
little
this is perfect for her.
noisemaker
If
thing?
you're on my Patreon, there's
It's so
music
cool.
and a
It's
soundbite
weird
from this
looking.
video waiting there for you, as
I do
well
like it, though.
as exclusive videos. Thanks for your
And then 6 days ago, it's good at one thing. Well, that's unfortunate. Wait, why did this get... I didn't realize that this was posted only 13 days ago. I thought I heard about this like from months ago, but it was probably the Kickstarter. And then I got really excited about the Kickstarter. Ooh, I think this video I haven't actually played for y'all, but this one definitely means that I won't be able to post this on YouTube. It's
So over
about
the holidays,
a funny thing that you can do to play your backup Switch games. Please, God, only use them for that. Please. Please. Please.
was this big announcement of a Nintendo Switch flash cart known as the MiG Switch. And while I was enjoying my time off, I did read into it a bit and its purpose. Now, according to the website, the MiG Switch is the only backup and development device for all Nintendo Switch consoles, regardless of their version, firmware type, that does not
Backup.
require any installation or modification of the console. Simply plug and play. Now, this device is essentially a Switch cartridge with an SD card slot that contains your Switch
The R4
ROMs.
is back,
The format
baby.
itself is
R4
simply different from
baby.
the standard XCI
However-
and NSP formats that you've probably been used to if you use emulators or you've seen floating around
The R4 is
internet.
back
the
now
MiG
with
Switch
100%
consists
less
of two
crime.
products, the Switch card itself,
Uh,
the micro SD card slot, and
maybe.
the Switch dumper.
You'll
which
find out.
allows you to take backups
There might
of
be
your
crime.
legally owned Nintendo Switch games. I'm
There
just
might
using
be
their
crime
words on their
involved.
website. Now, while the legalities of this product is not really something that I want to talk about in this episode, I do want to stress that this is a device that people have wanted pretty much since the very first day of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle.
I do sincerely
Now, of
say, like,
course, a
piracy-
device like this is
piracy
very
bad,
interesting as
but
it has
backing up
shades
your
of
stuff
the
and playing it,
R4 or Sky
good.
3DS cards for the Nintendo 3DS.
And
Now,
that
of
shouldn't
course,
be a controversial
any Nintendo
take.
Switch can be hacked, but many people want the convenience and ease of use. And many people just want to back up their existing library and play them off SD card, preserving the originals. And to be honest, when I saw this device show up, especially when it came from a random Twitter outlet known as Aftertime X, which personally I've never heard of before, and I might add was only established in August of 2023, something about the whole thing made me think that notorious group Team Executor may be the group behind all this. And I say that because thanks to a recent discovery by the community, it appears as though this Aftertime X Twitter account and website is indeed affiliated with the MiG Switch flashcard team, the team that is behind the flashcard development. And unfortunately, it's not a good look. Because if you've followed the mod chip scene over the years, you know that this is something that Team Executor has done many, many times before. Now, of course, I can't say
Drama.
categorically that the MiG Switch is a Team Executor product, but unfortunately, the same names seem to be cropping up this time around. And it does give me pause that the mastermind behind Team Executor, who's gone underground for the last couple of years after the arrests were made,
Nintendo
may have
ninjas do be after
resurfaced
that,
to
man.
finally release this
Yeah.
product at the end of the Switch's life. Now, before we start, I do want to say that much of this information is out there and verifiable. However, some of it is speculation based
This
on
is just
information
basically a
that
video
I've been
about a
told,
person
and
trying
some
to
of
hide
it
the-
is just my
hide
opinion based
from the
on my
Nintendo
history of
ninjas as
covering
best as
the
they
mod
can.
chip and console scenes for
While
years.
also spiting
the MiG
said
Switch chip
ninjas.
has yet to be released, and while we have a
Many
website,
ninjas
a
are
video,
after this
and
group.
a Twitter account promoting the product, we don't know what
Like a
the
lot of
device
ninjas.
is until we get it in hand. What is interesting, however, is exactly how Nintendo will respond, and you can bet that they will respond. And I would guess that there is going to be
Thermonuclear
many a Switch
weaponry.
device that is about to be banned. Again, based on current information that I've been informed about, we still don't have the device on hand. So let's kind of talk about how this device actually works and why it's being announced now. Back in 2021, you might remember the Giga Leak.
Thermo.
Most people remember reading
Thermonuclear
stories
weaponry.
about how Luigi ended up being in Super Mario 64.
Oh,
and
here we
various
go.
Other SNES
It all
and
goes back to
Nintendo
the
64
Nintendo Giga Leak.
assets, prototypes, and interesting discoveries. But one of the files in the leak was lesser known, and it was called datasheet.7z. And this contained low-level information about the Switch game card interface, which is also known as Lotus 3. GigaLeak contained hardware specifications for the chip that allowed the Switch to read their custom game card format. The ASIC that's inside the hardware basically bridges the gap between the console and the cartridge itself. Now, I don't want to get too technical here because, first of all, I'm not a hardware expert, and second of all, it's not really that important to the story. However, what is important here is that the Lotus 3 chip was decapped back in 2021. This process would then help to obtain the secret hardware keys used for communication and to decrypt the game card certificates. Now, I should stop here real quick and note that every single physical Switch game cartridge contains its own unique certificate. Now, if I was to speculate, the MiG Switch flash cart would use an FPGA chip inside of it, just like the R4 Gold does on the 3DS. And
Hey,
it
what do you
produces
know?
the game cartridge chip, which is built inside the cartridge, and it will effectively just mask or emulate the physical Switch cartridge functionality.
So
Now, each
yeah,
Nintendo
the
Switch
Giga Leak was
cartridge
worse
is
for
uniquely
Nintendo because it
encrypted,
led
as
to
we
this
said,
too,
and
which
this
is
done to
which is
track
messed up, man.
games. So for example, if you buy a physical Switch game and redeem its coins, then this is obviously tracked, so you can't redeem coins on a different device. So the TLDR here is that there should only ever be one game card with a given serial number or certificate. So if the scenario occurs where two of the same game with the same serial numbers are seen online and detected by Nintendo, the game card
Bad.
serial can then be blocked, rendering the physical game unusable, and the console itself could be banned. So if you do own a mixed Switch and a dumper, or if you're looking at getting one, you can probably get away with backing up your own library, assuming that you don't sell your games. But the moment Nintendo detects two of the same game with the same certificate, that's where I suspect Nintendo will step in. Now, according to the Aftertime
Nintendo
X
will
Twitter
just
post,
kill you.
They said after
No,
reviewing the
will
website,
just stick a
it
gun
seems
through the
that
screen of your
backup
console.
They'll
funds that are
just
currently
kill you.
floating around out
They'll
there on
hack
the
into your
internet are not
Switch and
supported
make
or
your
equivalent to
console
the
explode.
FCI format, of course, as the format that the MiG Switch uses
Like the
is
hackers
slightly
used to do
different.
in the
We don't
80s.
understand all the technical reasons behind this change, but you can be sure that scene release groups won't take long to make compatible repacks available to the piracy masses out there, as the instructions published on their website are clear. So it seems to be a very simple process. Now, this contradicts information that was presented by
Oh,
Michael
yep.
Cyrez that
Confirmed
confirmed
it.
that Nintendo was banning game cart certificates as far back as 2018.
So they're doing
And
it.
it's understood that the Lotus 3 chip can also be updated via firmware. Okay, so we've said a lot about the device, but how do
So,
we know that Team
shit's-
Executor
shit's-
is
shit's fucked.
allegedly involved with this product? Now, to be very clear, at this time, there is no real direct connection to Team Executor, as far as there is no Team
wish I had bought the
Executor
Team
branding on
Executor
this
stuff
product,
when I had
even
the
though that would
chance.
be a very silly thing to do, given
Well,
the recent court case with Nintendo. But somehow,
You can still
one particular
do
name
that stuff
keeps
with a
cropping up,
jig
and
and
that
an
name
iPhone
is
No,
Gary
I
or
know
and
I
an
can.
Android
who
phone.
was
I
a
know I
member of
can.
Team
It's just-
Executor
it
and
would
is
have been
best
cool to
known
have that
for
and
promoting
just be
Team
part of
Executor
that
products
Or
on hosted
install,
websites such as
Like,
MaxConsole.com.
it's not my fault the
That
product is
until the
criminal.
Department of
I didn't
Justice
make it.
seized
I
the
just paid
website
for
and took it down.
Okay, what you
Okay,
could
so
do
how
instead is just
Gary
buy a
Bowser involved in all this? If
Raspberry
the appearance
Pico,
of the
flash it,
Aftertime
and
No, I
Executor
know,
solder
I
it.
know,
didn't
I know
set
there's
off
other
any
ways
red
to do
flags,
it.
There's
I
other
also
ways to
need
do
to
it.
get
been
my
discovered
Model
that
1
the
Switch
DNS
repaired if
records
it's even
recovered from the
if it can even be
Aftertime
fixed.
X.com
Oh, what's the
website
problem with it?
Remained
It doesn't turn
inactive
on.
until around September 3 of 2023,
That's it?
when the domain
Yeah, doesn't turn
on,
doesn't get charged.
mail.garyOPA.com was exposed.
Assuming
Now, for those of you
it's-
that remember the Team
that's
Executor story,
repairable.
I did make a video about it in 2021. where
That
3
sounds like
members
it's
were
a,
arrested, including Max Luan, the leader of Team
probably a problem
Executor,
with the charging
and
port
Gary
or
Bowser.
the
Now,
charging
Max
chip,
Luan is the
which
leader
is
of the group, but he
soft-
was never
soft
extradited
likely.
to the
I don't know
US to be
how,
tried.
though.
However,
It
Gary
broke, like,
Bowser, who
completely
goes
out
by
of
the
random. It
online
didn't show
alias
any
Gary
sign
I've
of
seen them break,
deterioration.
was
like, out of
sentenced
random.
and spent
Yeah.
40 months in
It's not like the
prison
cable feels
before
loose either. It
ultimately
felt
being
fine.
released
Like, it
in
mostly
early
just sat in his
2023.
charger.
And of course, this is the
Anyway, yeah,
other
this
connection
guy's
to Team
already-
Executor, and one that is not a good look.
Gary's
Gary
already
himself
out.
tried to distance himself from the discovery and claimed it was nothing more than a DNS poisoning attack, but he did not deny it, which I think is quite telling. Gary Bowser was an admin for various websites over the years, such as Xbox Scene, MaxConsole.com, and more recently GBA Temp promoting SXOS products, just to name a few. So it's no real surprise that his name once again is behind all this. Now, if you go back and watch my story of Team Executor from 2020,
This
at the
man's
end of
been
the
in
episode,
the
I
scene
did
for so
suggest that
long.
after Nintendo shut them down, it would not be the end of the group. And in the past, when Max has been in trouble like this, usually a few years will go by, he will kind of go underground and then resurface with a brand new product. Max Luan and Team Executor have been in this situation many times over the years. The team simply goes underground and resurfaces a few years later under a different alias. We saw this with the Classic 2 Magic, the True Blue, and other devices. As to why the MiG Switch is being announced,
I didn't even
now
know that
and
that
wasn't
existed as a
earlier,
product. That's
this,
cool.
Of course, is my own speculation, but Team Executor went back underground to let things cool off. And now, at the twilight of the Switch life cycle and with Gary out of prison, it appears as though he is an integral part of the product. Without him, there is no website, there is no Twitter, and there is no advertising. Now, to see his name being involved in this all over again really just tells me that nothing has been learnt here. Gary set up a GoFundMe page to kind of rebuild his life after he got out of prison, and I was someone that was happy to help. I donated money to the cause, and I wished him well. I really, felt like he got a really rough deal by Nintendo. But if I was Gary Bowser right now, I would be taking this opportunity to say to myself, get the fuck out of this situation while you can. This is a
Man, I don't hear
warning.
modern vintage
This
gamers swear
specific
often.
thing that's come up.
But,
this
like-
DNS record that has been exposed right now.
Telling him
there's
to
nothing
just straight
illegal,
up,
there is nothing
you need to
wrong with what's
fucking
happening.
get out of here
But
before
Also,
Nintendo
he
kills
gave
you
him money
is
so that
real.
he would
Get
stop.
out of the situation.
Yeah,
Distance
so I mean
myself.
he has
Get
stake
away
in it, but
from
also
the
it's
rest
like
of the people that you associate with, and
Like-
really focus on rebuilding your life. It's the only way
like he
that
just
you can
got
move
out of
forward.
jail.
Because
You know?
I don't think Nintendo is going to mess
He
around
just
with
got out
this,
of jail.
Even though we are at the end of the Nintendo
Reoffending
life cycle,
or getting caught
we
for
don't know
reoffending like
anything
this,
about the next system.
he's
The
like
next system has a
turbo
legacy
screwed.
cartridge slot that also has a
If this guy
Lotus
actually works with
3,
selling games, and this is a bit
ASIC
risky thing to
inside
admit
of
to,
it, then already that's going to be the first thing that hackers are going to
Yeah.
be targeting to try to exploit the device. But those are just my thoughts and opinions. Look, it's great to be back
not
in
great.
2024 making content for you guys. This was
also I love this really shitty Photoshop job of the picture. I think it's upscaled. It's really bad. Like, look how ugly that SanDisk
Oh yeah. Oh god, I didn't even notice. That's-
is ugly. I think it's it looks like it's
that
a
also
crop.
could be a perspective thing.
Oh,
Just
no,
like the label is kind of like in.
It's
and
I
very
think it's
sharp.
you know what it is? I think it's a cropped perspective up yeah, it's a cropped photo upscaled really badly. But yeah. To be personally worn by MVG must be crazy. Like the legal like implications of piracy, like we all know what to like say about it, you know. Emulation's fine as long as it's only for your own stuff. Don't be out here pirating stuff.
So, like for certain consoles, I don't really feel like there's a huge defense for piracy especially if you already own the system, because it's like it's so easy to rip your game. It's like, why would you even bother?
Here it's a bit more complicated because you need to still without like a mod chip, it's really complicated for the process of ripping a game.
No, it's pretty easy to crack open a Gen 1 Switch if you have one. Like if you have the non-red box Switch, it's got.
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is like there's a lot to go like that you need to do it. I mean, like it's not hard. It's just a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This makes it easy for like Joe Schmo, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of some like the amount of effort it takes to get a jig working is already like a lot that fucking like weeds out a very significant amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know? Oh, Tokai, you sent this video. It was
Every now and then,
a video about fake guitar restoration videos.
Oh hell yeah, this sounds
who
awesome.
takes a video and rams it down everybody's throats through their recommendation feed. Maybe this video ended up in your recommendations. If so, leave a like. it would be interesting to see that. But there's a specific type of video that really gets pushed by the algorithm. It's the type of video that appeals to the people who
I think you
really
showed me
liked
something
that
like
one
this for,
scene in
but for
Toy Story 2.
consoles.
Yeah, it was
Restoration
one. It
videos,
was
and
about.
to be fair, I can see the appeal. It
It
would
still
be
was
satisfying
bad.
to see something that's old and rusted out, brought to new life and put back into working
And then we
order.
basically
But is it not really only
dissected it
satisfying
like it was
if
a
it's real? Today I'd like to talk about a guitar
like a
restoration
deep
video,
fake or
which I
something.
don't believe to be even remotely real, even though it seems to be trying its very best to make you believe it is. It's currently just a few thousand views away from 1 million views, and that's in 4 weeks, and it's showing no sign of stopping. Now, I was on the fence about making this video because there is the willing suspension of disbelief. Maybe it's just entertainment purposes. But when the legitimacy of the video was questioned by commenters, and then a YouTuber, Landon Bailey, his video link is there, the comments on the original video were turned off. And since then, I've seen people in Landon's videos
Here we go.
adamantly and profusely defending the legitimacy of this video, saying that maybe the story of the guitar's restoration, where he found it, isn't real. That bit's staged.
Dude got caught.
But the restoration of the guitar
Dude got
itself,
caught.
the work on it, is real. Well, simply put, I don't believe that any part of this restoration is real, and I'd like to show you why. Alright, so this is the shed that this guitar is in. Door is open, so everything inside is going to be somewhat exposed to the elements, but wood inside looks okay. We can pause there. Look, some metal chains on the inside of the door. One looks a little bit rusty. The other one,
You can tell it's abandoned
perfectly
because there's
fine.
so many
They
chains
are
on the.
close to the open door. Let's go a little bit further into the shed. A guitar in not a great condition. It's covered in quite a bit of dust and residue. Now, I think most people would look at this and say, that's probably not really where the guitar was found. It was just placed there for a little bit of added spice for video purposes, entertainment purposes only. But the restoration part is real. Alright, we take the guitar outside, brush it off. Paintwork looks pretty good. Oh, it's a Fender. And as the video title would suggest, Fender Stratocaster Rescue Restoration Abandoned Old Guitar Part 1. Quite an
How's that
unusual bit of
abandoned
wear on
old
that fretboard,
guitar?
don't you think? And if this guitar was an old...
Wait, hold up. Did you like this
video
part?
title would suggest Fender Stratocaster Rescue...
Yeah,
This
that
part
looks-
bothers-
That looks
this
like
part
it
just-
that doesn't look like something that's been covered in dust for. God
Yeah,
knows how
I'm
long,
like,
and
I can
exposed to the elements.
like I can see like the veneer still on this,
Yeah, you got a brand new
Right.
guitar and you covered it in sawdust and called it a day.
and but also look at the tension and the I forgot what they're called.
The strings.
No, not the strings, the tensioners.
Oh,
Look how weirdly rusty they are. Like what? Like you could take those off and put them on. I'm just like, why?
Restoration Abandoned Old Guitar Part 1. Quite an unusual bit of wear on that fretboard, don't you
Tuning
think?
pegs, thank
And
you.
if this guitar was an old guitar like it supposedly is, you'd think that maybe the previous owner had something against the 9th to 12th fret and really played the 21st fret more than I think I've seen anyone ever. Of course, I'm just messing. That wear wasn't played into it. It came from the heavily criticized, for just that reason, the wear
You just
doesn't
took a
really make
sanding
sense,
down, just
Fender Road Worn series that originally came out in 2009. We can compare the guitar in the video to a Fender Road Worn Strat, and the wear on the fretboard and the body is the exact same. The Fender Road Worn series came out in 2009.
Oh wait, this
meaning
is
that the oldest
oh
this guitar could
wait.
possibly be is 13 years old.
Are these?
There
Is this the
actually
guitar?
appears most
Is this the
debris
guitar
off the
equivalent
guitar.
of like
We get to see a closer
already
look, and
to-
it's
like
rather
ripped jeans?
rusted out
like
for
pre-ripped
a
jeans?
Like a
maximum
pre-distressed
13-year-old
guitar.
P-distressed
But
guitar.
Something's a little bit off here. Let's just take a quick look at the tuners. The D string.
What the dude? It's green. There's so much patina on this. There's no. Do y'all know how to make rust? Like basically overnight.
I sure I could figure a way out, but I don't specifically know. No.
Like you can add a patina to copper real easy if you add shoot, I forgot. I think it's like if you added like salt and Oh yeah, no. If you add white vinegar and salt into some water. Yeah, add vinegar and salt to water. Put the item in it. Leave it for like a day, and then leave it out to dry, and then it just fucking patina's really bad.
Tuner, for example,
or good
it's
in the
reflecting the
if you
light
care.
a little bit unusual. It's got
Like,
a bit of a texture on it.
It's so
Now,
easy.
That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't prove anything. But
It's
just
so,
something to keep in
so
mind as we
easy
go
to make
further.
something
Now we'll
rust.
take some screws out of the pickguard, and screws rust all the time in well-played guitars, but it's mainly the top of the screws.
Why does the
not the full?
See, I think they put it in a solution to make it rust and then put them back in. How does this part get
Way
rusted?
down, because that's protected by the wood in the guitar. It's just a little bit unusual, and oh my god, this shot tells me absolutely everything I need to know about the validity of this video.
Patina.
I don't believe it at all. Time for a lesson in metals and alloys used on guitars. Okay, this
Yay!
will get complicated very quickly, so I'm going to gloss over.
It's a thing that I just
There's
talked
two
about.
main alloys for frets and hardware used on electric guitars, especially on Strats, like the one in the video. For the hardware, such as the bridge, that's made of steel. And steel is an alloy of iron, so it can and does rust. But the rust will be a browny, reddish, orange.
I love the auto subtitles. The rust.
Color. It is possible for steel to rust green, but this is uncommon, and that's produced in low oxygen environments, i.e. not in a woodshed, so just keep that in mind. Most frets, including the ones that we're looking on the guitar today, are made of nickel silver. It's a deceiving name, there is no silver involved, it's an alloy of copper. Copper, nickel, and zinc. And while that doesn't rust, it certainly can tarnish. Now, copper on its own.
Wait, copper,
oxidizes
nickel, and
it
zinc, that's
turns
what a penny's made
mint
out of.
green. A prime example is the
Yeah,
Statue
technically.
of Liberty.
That's straight
The
up just a
frets are
yeah.
not made of pure copper. It's an alloy, copper, zinc, and nickel, which means it's not going to turn that Statue of Liberty green. Frets tarnish. They can, over a long period of time, go a dark brown with a hint of green. They're not going to go the mint copper green. But
Oh
if
my
the frets
God,
were
it's so
really in such a
green.
severe state as we see in the video, the rust would A, at least affect the finish on the fretboard that's close to the frets, and B, to get them back into working order, you'd need to do a fairly severe fret level. Look at them! And every single one. There's not one fret that got away. Even the frets.
Toke, how much
weren't
does a
played
road-worn
by,
Strat
the player
cost in
of this
comparison
guitar.
to
Every
a
single
non-worn
fret
Strat?
has gone green. Now
What's
onto
the what?
trem, and this
what's
one is
what's the
rustier
premium?
than a sunken shipwreck. The
Oh my
entire
God.
thing is completely caked in rust. So he removes the trem, and we get a bit of a closer look. Absolutely everything in this guitar is rusted. Sorry, rusted. Again, the entire screw is
How is this whole
rusted.
screw?
which I find it hard enough to
wouldn't
believe.
the
especially considering it
interior,
really
like,
doesn't
threaded
affect
part be
the wood,
significantly
like the
less
finish
rusted? Like
is
it wouldn't.
Oh
more
yeah,
where
it wouldn't be rusted
it
at all
was
because it's not
painted to be
exposed to
worn
the
in the-
outdoors
in the
as much.
Fender
Yeah.
Mexican shop.
So
a very
that's already
rusty,
bullshit.
Rusty bridge here.
This is
the rustiest I think I've ever
Unfortunate.
seen. It really does look like it was sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and so does the neck plate. Here's a comparison between this neck plate and Rory Gallagher's neck plate, and I would remind you that Rory had acidic sweat which just burnt through the nitro finish on his Strat. That was his neck plate. This is this neck plate. And here's another reason why I just don't believe it. Right, here's the rusty plate, and then the finish underneath is brand new. It is shiny. The conditions for rust also affect a nitrocellulose
Around
finish,
$200,
which is what the
but I
road
believe you
ones were
get-
finished in.
You can
This wouldn't look
get their
like
custom
that
job to do
if that
something like a
rust
bit better.
is real.
Oh, okay.
It takes a lot of the parts off the guitar.
if I
Yet the
What the
entire
fuck?
screws are rusted.
how
And then we get to
it's
see
so dumb.
the tuners. Notice the palette of colors that the rust has on these tuners, caked in rust. Specifically, green rust. They don't contain copper. Oh, look how green they are.
Okay, now
not
I'm
a
curious
thing.
as to how they
Jack plate
faked
is
it. Because how
completely
did they make
rusted out.
something that
Let's see
doesn't
what's
rust
on the
copper
underneath.
look like
Yeah,
it has
think
rusted
he
green?
painted it.
100% brand new. Alright, he takes the pick guard off, and this is the biggest clue that whoever is doing this really doesn't want you to know what this guitar is. They don't want you to break the illusion, and they're putting quite a bit of work, I would say, into hiding
think
what
they
this
put enough
guitar
effort
is.
into it.
Let's take a quick look at a standard Fender road-worn body. You see, when Fender came out with the road-worn series, because it's to look like a vintage, well-used guitar, they put some thought into perhaps the unscrupulous nature of certain people who might part out the bodies and sell them off as original pieces, original Fender bodies. And to avoid this happening, they stamped into the wood road-worn. And of course there's also the mounting hole for the CNC machine in the body that's underneath the pickguard. And just conveniently, there happens to be the one bit of foil. Now most of the time when people put foil in their guitars, they put it actually in
That's
the control
so
cavity.
fucking stupid.
But this owner has
That's so dumb. You could even see the outline of the circle for the CNC.
put it just on the body in a random place?
Huh.
Or is it random enough to just cover the road-worn stamp?
Oh, that's
on the
terrible.
mounting hole. I'd also point out that on every Fender made in Mexico body, they've got a barcode underneath the finish in the control cavity, also for keeping track in the factory. And to remove it, it's not just peeling a sticker, it's actually under the lacquer and under the finish. So you have to cut that out. That's missing from this one. I wonder why. Alright, now we get to see the body.
Huh.
And very clearly again, the wear on it, that's a Fender road-worn Strat. One thing to note here in a second is notice this polishing compound that he's putting on the
What?
body. That will come back later. Rusted up strap pins too. There is
What?
not a piece of metal on this guitar that doesn't have rust on it. I don't believe it for a second, and I'll show you why. Firstly, we're going to get an angle now.
Oh, you can just
For
scrape
one,
it off
that rust
with a screw.
has brush marks in it. It's like actual strokes of a paintbrush marks on it. Now, some people might question, you know, this video has 1 million
so
views. I can't believe that. It doesn't deserve these views. I personally think it deserves more, because he's managed to turn steel, which is what this bridge is made of, into copper. He's completely bending the properties of metal. That's not a thing. And also, you know, you can see
This
the
is an
brush strokes
alchemy video.
where
This
the
is
rust painted
great.
on the trim block. Now, fake restoration videos on YouTube aren't a new thing, but they're fairly uncommon when it comes to guitar.
I want to
And there
watch a
are two
lot of
ways to
fake
use a
restoration videos now and
video.
point out
There's
the bullshit.
convincing way. And then
It
there's
seems
the
very
not
fun.
as convincing way, but a lot easier to fix. The convincing way is by artificially rusting the metals, but it is real rust. And then there's the not as convincing way, the way that I believe this video has been done. There's no real rust, it's paint. It's a lot more effort to do convincingly,
say,
but it's got the
Like,
added
I didn't know they
benefits
had
of it being a
rust
lot more
paint.
easy to remove, as you'll see.
I mean, you can do it on
and
a
it
Warhammer
doesn't
figure.
affect the
I was gonna say, I was like,
metal
wait, no, I've
structural
seen it on
level that
Warhammer
rust can.
figurines.
Alright, now this is the best part, because if you're still not having doubts, this should tell you all you need to know. Just taping off the fretboard like you would if you were going to do some fretwork, although it's a little bit different.
Pairing
See,
scam videos next to
rust,
each other was
when it
such a
affects
great idea.
metal,
Yeah, you're
isn't
right.
something that just comes off and leaves no trace of it ever being there. It's not something that has no effect. He's putting on a clear solution. If I was placing bets, I'd say it's white spirits or something like that. He's being very gentle with this clear solution, whatever it is, almost barely touching the frets. What he does is he brings back that polishing compound that he was using on the body, or something that looks very much like it. He's using a microfiber cloth, and he's managing to get rid of all of the rust. Bear in mind, it looked like the Statue of Liberty when we started, and he's managing to just get it off with not even elbow grease. A gentle rub. Just completely, it just disappears. He must have asked it nicely.
I've had
Decided
food that
to
stays
Google
on
the
more
rustiest
than the
frets I
paint.
could possibly find. And how the luthier dealt with it was a really heavy and harsh fret level. He removed a lot of material, leveled the frets completely, had to re-crown them, re-polish them, redo everything to save the frets, and they were in much better condition than the frets that we saw at the beginning of what this guitar looked like. And he's managed to completely repair them with a microfiber cloth. What? That is a magic microfiber cloth, I will tell you that much.
One thing you have to
We
remember
get
also
three
is that
layers of
rusting
water made of white
is
spirits,
a
and then he
process
has
that
this
takes
powder that
away
gives it quite a fizz. Now that could be some sort of agent
vinegar.
that is to remove rust. Or it
Baking
could also just be,
soda.
like liver salts to give the
Lol,
pot a
baking
bit of a
soda.
fizz for dramatic effect.
Um,
And the reason that I say that is this channel has a
Yeah, like one thing you have to remember is that rust transforms the metals that's there into another substance.
Yeah, it's becoming.
It's
a new
not like,
chemical.
it's a new thing. It's not like if you take off the rust, you have a different.
Well,
There's a different amount
would
of
have to
material left.
Yeah, you're removing some of the material unless you do some kind of chemical thing to convert it back into.
But that's way more
steel.
complicated than trying to just get rust off of it.
Yeah, it's not
That's
like a retro.
that's
right?
recovering
Yeah,
rust, which
you're
is
not
entirely
painting
different.
or dyeing anything.
Yeah. Well, so like, it's Is Oxy Action things that people put into wash just baking soda with a marketing name? I feel like I don't know. I bet we can find out.
a couple other
We'll do that later. I want to. You got me curious. I'm like, wait, how does OxyClean work?
We're yet to see part 2.
Does it?
What I
Maybe look
particularly
that up
like about
next,
this
or-
video,
Yeah,
where
we're
he
probably gonna do it next.
derusts a rusty car. Look how rusty it is. Oh, it's completely
What?
rusted out. That needs some serious abrasion to remove that rust. So please note the direction in which this box is placed, the direction in which the car is. And this sticker, this has got the big end, this end, and the little end on this side of it. Let's just see what happens and what agent he's going to use to remove the rust.
Oh, fuck
it's
off.
Coke. No.
We're in life
That's
hack
not how it
material
works.
now.
Right, the box, please note, the box has completely flipped. The little end of the sticker is on this side now. Now, the car has also completely flipped, and some magic Coke. It's completely removed any spot of rust and
This is life hack material.
I'm gonna buy some shares in Coke because that's magic. Now, in reality, there's a lot of videos out there that are just for entertainment purposes, and if this was for your entertainment purposes, well, then there's no problem with that at all. But just know that the techniques used here won't actually fix any problems with a guitar with real issues. So willing suspension of disbelief? Sure. Bit of entertainment? Yeah. But if you think it's real... Alright, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Also, side note, the only actual guitar I want is the 14 one. And I'm not saying that because I like 14, which I do significantly. Have you seen what it looks like? I forgot.
No, I don't think I have.
It's really good though. The song sounds very emo. It is sung by very emo people sometimes. Look at the inlay. I love it. Like, I think it looks it's subtle, but it's very, very nice. You know? See? Look at that. It has a nice inlay too of the 14 logo in opal. It's very classy for like people who have no damn clue what this is, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it also has a limit break, a little limit break switch that changes the tone of the guitar. It's cute. It's not the ESP Monster Hunter guitar. Oh no. Okay, I need to look up what the hell. How does OxyClean work? Does OxyClean really work? That's not what I want. Why is... No, like, how does it work? Like, ah, boy. I don't think. Hold on. Chemically. Give me something a little bit more higher up here. Please? What? Okay. Maybe the closest we're gonna... Wait. I don't know if we're gonna get a good video out of this. What do you think?
For what? Does OxyClean really work? I don't know.
Maybe this one might be good. Oh, nope, that's for home brewing. That's not what we want.
Yeah, we don't want that.
I don't think we're gonna get something. Find something. It's kind of hard to look through.
We should probably just look at the next video in the feed, I'm guessing.
What is the next video in the feed? Oh, this one's a shit post. Do you remember Vine Sauce?
Yes?
Do you remember the Fantastic game?
No.
God dang it.
What I'm about to say might be a bit of a controversial statement,
It's
but
my favorite
I love
genre of
video
game.
games. Games are a type of media which puts you, the player, directly in charge of the experience, allowing a special bond to be made between the consumer and the product that can be hard to replicate in other mediums. All my life I've played games made by the big boys at Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, but in this day and age, anyone with a computer can make a game of their very own. But that doesn't mean that video games aren't hard to make. They take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So how could any one person just make a game all by themselves? Enter the indie scene, a fantastic community of people who are not only passionate
Isn't
about the
Baba
games they play,
Is You's
but are
soundtrack
also
so
passionate
great?
about making great games
Pretty good.
themselves.
Like it has
Stardew
such a good
Valley.
mix between
Even
I'm
Tetris
thinking
was
so fucking
originally
hard right
created
now
by just
and
one
I'm not
person.
thinking at all.
But even then, making an indie game can still take a handful of years to make. So, what happens when a single person takes maybe, I don't know, let's say a week to create their game? Look no further than sites like GameJolt or itch.io. And I'm not talking about every game on these sites, they actually have some pretty good games easily accessible on the front page. No, I'm talking about the games buried in the harder to reach areas of the site. I'm talking about the kind of games that don't really make sense and make you start to question, who made this? Why did they make this? And why am I playing it?
Soda
These are all questions you ask yourself when you're playing a game in
I love
the
soda
egg-like genre.
Egg-like.
The egg-like genre.
The egg-like genre. I think I've quoted this as a genre like a lot, and I don't think people really know what I mean. But I need to.
Egg-like genre, like New Vegas and Bloodborne.
New Vegas and Bloodborne are not egg-likes.
If you're a fan of Vine Sauce, you've probably heard the term egg-like before, primarily used by Vinny to describe a game that he's playing. The definition for what an egg-like game isn't really defined at all, so I thought it would be fun to take a quick look at some of the most important and influential games to the egg-like genre, and see what we can learn and take away from them to better understand the term egg-like and what it means.
We're like going in deep old videos.
The Fantastic game was developed by someone who underwent the name The Fantastic Kinnear and was publicly released in June 2012, and to this day has almost 9,000 downloads on its IndieDB page. But a month before its release, the Fantastic Kinnear had emailed the game to Vinny, specifying how he would like.
And if you want, you can read this. Message. Hello, Mr. Vine Sauce. I would like very much play game. My game. The game Fantastic. Fantastic is my game.
This is very much that fucking.
I
dude
saw
who
your
keeps
video, worlds.com. Very good, very funny. I make the game fantastic, and I want you to play game for stream. It would very please me. The website is fantastic-game.tumblr.com. The game host on Mediafire. Promise no virus. Scan if you wish. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.
This is very much the same energy of that dude in Papers, Please, who keeps bringing you fake passports and shit.
Oh, Georgie. I love Georgie.
Vinny to play his game on stream. This stream is when the term egg-like was first coined, used to describe the bizarre nature of the game and the seemingly random events that take place in it.
Egg.
He most likely used the prefix egg because of the very notable white eggs that played a loop of a small portion of Smash Mouth's All-Star when you approach. The gameplay can be likened back to games like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie with its collectathon-like elements.
I feel like we should watch
Although,
the
aside from
Vincent's video
walking
about
around
this.
and picking up the game's collectibles,
$1.
there wasn't much to do in the game. That was until 3 months later when the Fantastic Near updated the game to version 1.fun, which is a really weird way to name a version of your game, but I guess it's not too out of character when you compare it to the rest of the game. So what did this new version add? Well, not much actually. It just added some new areas, and well, that's about it. Despite the promise of a Fantastic Game 2.0 seen at the end of the Fantastic Game 1.fun, the project was seemingly abandoned at some point.
This was my childhood.
How many Doom Bloods did you watch Fine Sauce play over the years, Alma?
None.
That's a shame.
Was it only up in egg-like? Maybe.
The
This
next
is my
major
childhood.
egg-like
I would
game
say so,
was
yeah.
the
Famous
Fantabulous game, which was released sometime in spring 2013 and was created by someone going by Fantabuloso online. Just like the Fantastic game, Fantabuloso had emailed Vinny a copy of his game wanting him to play it on stream. Although, unlike the
Should I read that
Fantastic game,
email?
it
I
was
feel like I
actually
should
not
read the
that
email.
bad.
Okay, hold on. Viney Vine Sauce. I am Fantabuloso, Le Fantabulous. I see video fantastic game on your tube. I dislike. Firmly down thummered. Fantasticaneer is a shamrock. I am true fan of thing one. I make own game, Le Fantabulous game, and want you play. I also watch stream, see Weed Chase 4.2 should be Shamrock Chase. Weed Chase is Shamrock, and Kristoff is Shamrock. He used beautiful program Unity for badness. I down thumbered that as well. I promise you, Le Fantabulous game is anti-Shamrock Chase. No chase Shamrocks. Kill Shamrocks. Le Fantabulous game is a game like no other. Your friend woman is hunger and is in mood to break fast. Like a good man and not a shamrock, you decide to gather sausage wieners for her to eat as school only serves egg, and not sausage wieners. As Capsule, you must overcome race, gender, and age barriers to success and be with friend woman happy forever.
Okay, now this sounds like a poorly worded version of the already poorly worded stuff that you see in Cruelty Squad.
You may be thinking, but Fantabuloso, what if your game is not as sausage wieners are? Well, Viney, I promise that the Fantabulous game is just like sausage wieners and then some extras on top. Shamrock free. The Fantabulous game is inspired by love, playground games, and Vladimir Putin. Trust in me as I trust in my game. You will be happy. Do not shamrock and play game. Be sure read me to know what to do. Game is download here. Much you love you much, Ferds. Fantabuloso.
Although, unlike
Incredible.
the Fantastic game, it was actually not.
Is this
that
someone that
bad.
learned English from Ashton's
Sure,
Pop
it wasn't
Station
the best
instructions?
game in the world,
Potentially.
but no egg-like.
I feel like
ever
I should just
is.
watch these
But
again. I
it certainly
miss
raised
these.
the bar for what a good egg-like should aspire to be.
This is weird nostalgia for
This
me
was a
who
good
just
thing,
enjoyed the
because
weird
before
shitty
Late
games.
Fantabulous game, a lot of people were attempting to recreate the feeling of the original Fantastic game, but mostly came off as just being copycats. Fantabuloso saw this and decided to show everyone just how easy it was to make a game that was enjoyable to play.
So essentially, egg likes were a thing. They're less of a thing now, but they were a huge thing, especially on Vinesauce. And I just got really tired of all the lazy attention grabs that were just plaguing the Vinesauce community at the time. Stuff like, specifically, Weed Chase and Alien Jump. I think the Fantastic Game and Fantastic Game 1.fun themselves were actually really cool, fun products. But I did feel at the time that Fantastic Game was kind of, due to the attention that they were getting, affecting the Vinesauce community in a negative way. So, I got pissed, being a little edgy 16, 17-year-old spiteful little boy. I set out to parody it and make a higher quality product in less time. And I just kind of
Spiteful
took the
little
Fantastic
boy
Game
with an
and made
eye.
a bootleg of it. So
I
it's,
learned
instead
how
of
to.
the
I
Fantastic
programmed a
Game,
game of
it's the
Unity out of
Fantabulous
spite.
game.
His game
Spite's
featured
very
all
powerful.
of the 2 mechanics featured in the Fantastic Game, that being walking around and collecting, but expanded upon it by adding combat, characters, dialogue, a story, and different worlds to explore, all connected via a hub world. Compared to the Fantastic Game, I'd say, yeah, it's pretty good. But speaking of the Fantastic Game, just like that one, almost 2 years later, the Fantabulous Game got an update of its very own. That's right, in January of 2015, we got Le Fantabulous Game version 0.9, which makes a lot more sense than 1.fun. This update contained a lot of new content while also polishing up the old stuff too. New worlds, weapons, and bosses. There truly was so much to do and so much
Okay, this
to
is pretty
see.
good for a
This is
one-person Unity
arguably
game.
the best egg-like game, and if you're gonna play any of these games,
With
I'd probably
Xbox Live
recommend this
indie
one,
games tier graphics.
I am dog. Worf, worf.
It seems to have the most loving care
Looks like a
put
Tim
into
McNair
it,
character.
and won't make you want to die after 30 minutes of playing.
I love it.
Also, I'd like to break off.
I love
topic
that
for a
it's
second
the
and
model
fast
is just an
forward to the
extruded
present, which
sphere.
Fantabuloso is still
Like not even
actively
out of
working
separate
on the
parts. It's just an
Fantabulous game,
extruded
and will
object.
receive its biggest update yet, version 1.0, sometime in the future.
Oh,
A
wow.
Kickstarter and demo will be released sometime in 2019.
This looks actually
And from
really
the
good
looks of
for
the
a
trailer,
one-person,
it
man
looks
person
pretty
thing.
good, so go ahead and check it out if you're interested. Link will
Very
be in the description.
Slime punter.
Anyways, let's get back on track.
Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher. Wow, trailer.
There's not much to talk about when it comes
Wind
to
Waker
the Brilliant
Explosions 2,
game,
yeah.
because everything relating to it has been deleted off the internet. Seriously, I can't find anything about this game, other than the fact that supposedly Vinny had played it very briefly on stream before calling it trash and moving on to a different game. But other than that, there's not really much to go on. It's actually a very interesting situation. You see, the Brilliant game was considered so bad that it has actually been cited as the beginning of the end for egg-likes, and what started the inevitable downfall of the genre.
No.
And just to clarify, the Brilliant game isn't the sole reason for the egg-like genre's downfall. There have been many bad egg-likes in the past. This one just seems to be the one that made everyone really start to lose hope for the genre. Sure, people still made egg-likes after this game's release, but none seemed to capture the magic quite like the Fantastic Game and Fantabulous game did. Now, these are all just rumors because there's
Why
no
do I feel like I
actual
should play
evidence
this
of this
now?
game actually existing.
I'm sure
aside
it-
from a few
You'd
screenshots.
There's some weird nostalgia I'm
The
feeling
Brilliant
on
game
this,
was
man.
so horrendously bad, it had been rumored that the creator of the game tried to erase any and all information regarding the game off the internet, never to be seen again. But that won't stop me from playing it, because after a couple of Google searches and an email or two, and with special thanks to Ian from Super Viola Bros on YouTube, I got my hands on this game, and so one question remains.
What's that
How
icon?
is it? Is it really as bad as people made it out to be online? Should it really be the reason the egg-like genre is seemingly non-existent to this day? Well, yeah, it's bad. Really bad.
Yeah.
If the Fantabulous game is an example of the best the egg-like genre has to offer,
Okay.
then
Hi,
this
Aladdin.
is definitely the worst it has to offer. Unlike every other egg-like, this game is very linear, leading you down a single path for the entirety of the game. And some areas are extremely bland and boring with not much to do except to walk forward. Not to mention, some of the challenges can be really tedious and ask a lot from the player. Also, if you happen to die at any point, you'll be sent to the death cube and forced to restart from the beginning. Which is the sole reason of why this is the only egg-like game I can't finish. There's a pretty cool fight with Master Hand at the end, but it's easy to fall off the stage, and if you fall off the stage, you have to play the entire game again, and it's really not worth it at that point.
Damn, I wanted to fight Master Hand.
After playing this game, and if the rumors are true, I don't blame the developer for not wanting to be associated with this game anymore. Although, there is something to be said, however, about how interesting it is to be playing a game that was never meant to be seen again.
It's so interestingly bad.
Let's talk about this for a minute. Nearly 3 years ago, I was sent an email by a guy named Fantasticaneer, to be precise. And that began this whole thing of sending me ironically shitty games. It was called The Fantastic Game. It's on YouTube, you can check it out. And then there was a second version of The Fantastic Game, and then there were a ton of clones that were dubbed the Egg-likes. The Egg-likes were a take on, it was a riff on the idea of the eggs in the Fantastic Game. Then the Fantabulous game came out, and that was actually competent. That was a game, and it actually worked, and there was combat and bosses. It was really weird, but it was the best of the shitty game genre. But the thing is, it is possible for some things to stop being funny, as we've learned. And the Fantastic Game and its many clones like Alien Jump and Weed Chase, for example, stopped being funny pretty quickly. And we soon discovered that the law of diminishing returns was setting in, and a lot of these games that people were making, shitty on purpose.
Don't you hate it when a joke has very clearly run its course?
And so therefore I stopped playing them.
It's unfortunate.
People were sending me emails with poorly worded, sentences.
Like, the joke's over now, we killed it. Oh,
and
man.
the games were inevitably getting worse and worse. And even the ones that weren't terrible, I still didn't want to play. Sure, I played a few shitty games here and there, but usually not too many of the ones that people made for me specifically based on the Fantastic Game. The egg-like genre had died.
And there's still more to the story, apparently.
Almost 3 years later, and here we are with the newest addition to the egg-like genre, the Excellent Game. While not yet publicly released and the developers currently unknown, this game was streamed by Vinny on April 14th, 2019.
Egg.
The game harkens back to its original egg-like roots. You simply walk around and collect as many eggs as you please.
You got egg!
It's very reminiscent of the Fantastic Game, where instead of multiple worlds to
got
explore,
egg.
like in the Fantabulous game, you have one massive world to explore. There are some neat things like a boat with actual controls and checkpoints that allow you to teleport back to places you've already been. Although multiple locations in the game have an under construction cube in front of it, and some of the mechanics don't work as intended, so it's obvious the game is not complete. And maybe once it is, it'll be released to the public. But for now, that's all we have to go on. So, after 4 major games and 2 updates, can we finally answer the question as to what is an egg-like? Well, defining what is and isn't egg-like is hard because every interpretation is different from the last, and each game has something that makes it unique and stand out from the others. But let's say if I was forced to define what an egg-like game is, then I would say at its core, an egg-like game is a game that shares its essential gameplay mechanics with the games that pioneered the genre, such as the Fantastic Game and the Fantabulous game. Typically, egg-likes are a first-person exploration game in which the player must traverse an open world and overcome certain challenges in order to collect a specified collectible. These collectibles can then be used to expand the world that they inhabit. Egg-likes are known typically for being comical and bizarre in nature and include various pop culture references, whether that be in the form of characters, music, or sounds. The appeal of egg-likes can be likened to the amateurish nature in which they're created, often being made in the free version of Unity with development time being very short. Now, this doesn't really encapsulate everything that makes an egg-like, but I feel it gives
It's
a
not
basic
Yick.
gameplay
Yick is not
structure
an
for
egg-like.
those who have never played one of these games before.
Breath of the Wild might be
I
an
know the whole
egg-like.
point of this video was to kind of give a
Skyrim also might be an egg-like.
But really, an egg-like can't be put
I
to
love
a
the Donkey
science,
Kong Country
because if you try too hard to
phonograph.
capture the feeling
It was
of classic
it was from a
egg-likes,
corruption
it can
stream.
come off as well
An
trying
old
too
corruption
hard.
stream from Venice.
So, what about the future of egg-likes, and do they even have one? Well, I'm not sure. Egg-likes are honestly pretty fun for the sheer amount of randomness when it comes to playing them. You never really know what you're gonna get when you play one. People seem to enjoy Vinny's stream of the excellent game, some people even claiming for it to be a nostalgic experience for them. So even after the bad rap the egg-like genre got after the brilliant game, people still seem to have fond memories of these games, which is
I like how
promising
the soccer ball isn't even textured, right?
for the future of the genre. I think as long as good egg-likes keep coming out and the word keeps getting spread around, then I think the future of egg-likes could be pretty bright. In fact, that's essentially the entire reason I'm making this video, to help spread information of the genre around and hopefully inspire some more great egg-like games.
An effort
Because
was made.
at the end of the day, you don't have to be extremely skilled in game design to make an egg-like. All the games I talked about today were all made by individuals with a variety of skills. I think that
Or
only
no
adds
skill.
to the appeal of egg-likes. I can make one, you can make one, anyone can make one. What really matters when it comes to making an egg-like is the passion that you put behind it.
We can all
If
be
you really care
egg-likes.
about making an enjoyable experience, then everything will turn out alright.
What an inspirational video.
And, well, that's about it. Thanks for taking time out of your presumably busy days to watch this video. I really appreciate it. This video took a while to research, more so than other scripts I've written in the past due to how niche and old of a topic this is. A lot of the information I needed was either hard to
Egg-like
find
has
or
been
doesn't
banned
exist
on
anymore.
Reddit.
And some sources
That's
contradict other sources, so
I wonder
essentially
what
I'm
did they
trying to
do.
say is I'm not
They
perfect.
put the N-word in the
And if
video
I got
game.
any of my information wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to make a pinned comment featuring any corrections that need to be made. I also wanted to give a huge thanks to Ian once again from Super
It's
Viola
such a
Bros on
silly
YouTube for
idea. I
providing
wonder
me
actually
with the brilliant game.
how long
Funny thing,
is
actually, I
the
believe
Minecraft
he's
video
the
about?
only known person to still have the brilliant game before I made this video. So props to him. I quite literally couldn't have done.
How long is the video to get? Oh yeah, the Fantabulous game. Like there's a whole thing for egg likes. Oh, it's only 7 minutes? We can watch this. What the
So-
heck is an egg like? Please enjoy.
Fantabuloso sent me this email.
It's a
He
silly,
put some
silly
thought
genre
into making this
of a video.
as retarded as possible.
Oh yeah, this was before when
Fantabuloso, Le
Vincice
Fantabulous.
made
I see
uh,
video
how old is
fantastic
this?
Game on your
10 years ago. God
Damn.
dang.
We're old.
But his verbiage is unfortunate, but you know,
I
they've
dislike
changed
firmly
and they've gotten better at
down-thumbered.
this.
You may be thinking, but Fantabuloso, what if your game is not as sausage wieners are? Well, Viney, I promise that Le Fantabulous game is just like sausage wieners and then some extras on top. Shamrock free. So this is El Fantabuloso game. Whoa, trees, what are you doing? Fantabulous, you've
Is
got
this
talent,
Balan
man.
Wonderworld?
Don't give it up.
This is
One
really
day you
close
might be
to it.
working for EA.
It's a sausage.
Hello, I fear, friend. Yellow, I will help you on your quest. But first, meet me at Fighty Place.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna go to Circle Friend Fighty Place first. What?
Verb.
Not just any burb.
What? I hear story of friend. This friend is Shamrock. He reverses ground magnets with touch.
Ground magnets.
Ground magnets.
Oh no! Oh no! He's dead. Thanks, Muchford's friend. I am free from Shamrock Pillar. This entire game is spoken in glossolalia. This is braver test. If fighting Shamrocks, you must prove brave. See, Obama agrees. I am dog Wharf. Captain, we've received signals from the Alpha Factoris sector.
I don't know why that line is so good. It's too fun. It's funny to me.
I don't think I was supposed to do that. Yep, definitely wasn't supposed to do that. It sounds like a guy, like a little German guy, like who works at like a Wiener Schnitzel bar, just playing away, just tapping those keys. You surprised me, Fantabuloso. This is the best virus I've ever played in my life. Mountain walking.
So it wasn't just a.
Watch
It was
out,
a
eggs are
seagull.
mess head.
It was Steven Seagal.
Friend
Just
fell
terrible.
offside underfoot eggs is not anti-bad either. Anti-bad. Oh my god, is that a Snoopopotamus? I like how Snoop is a mainstay of the egg-like genre. So beautiful. What are you looking at? Please go.
No.
Imagine platforming in this game.
Probably played worse.
Will this have
Played Balan
Oculus Rift
Wonderworld.
support?
I played the demo of it at least.
Is it that
Game is
bad?
excellent.
Alma, every button is a jump button except for the pause
I
button.
can't tell you how much I
What?
love it.
Literally, like, look at your grab
Tell
a
you what, though,
controller,
this game
grab
sure is
any
scrambling
modern
my brain.
controller from the last like 20 years, and
And
look
it
at the
wasn't
face
over
buttons.
easy. Signed Bill USSR.
All of the face buttons. Think about that, and then look at
my.
the triggers. All of the face
I
buttons
came
and the triggers do the
here
same
on
thing.
Dare, now I stuck.
That's
I'm scared.
so dumb.
This includes the menus.
Ugh.
Now you won't be scared
So
anymore.
you want to know how you exit the menus?
We should greenlight this and
What?
fantastic
You
game.
navigate to the menu
Maybe you two should.
with the
maybe
exit
you two
button
should work
with the
together
control stick, and then you push
and get
any
Christoph
button.
in there and the
That's-
guy who made Alien Jump.
It's really
Bad.
bad.
The fantastic bundle.
I still want to
Later, we need to
stream
watch
that
that.
one day if it goes on sales for cheap enough. Isn't? I thought it was like you can't like play it anymore. I thought.
What game? Balan Wonderworld?
Yeah.
No, that shit's still up.
Why are
Square
you doing
Enix
this to
published
me?
that game. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Doing this to me.
that's worrying.
And then fucking the creator of it went to jail.
Went to jail.
For stock
What did? Why did he go to jail again?
stock insider trading.
Into the home sauce.
Ah, okay.
He knew about Square Enix buying some like he knew about
Holy
the fucking
shit.
Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale for
God
mobile.
Damn it.
Ah.
And he used the knowledge of that game to
What the fuck?
buy stock when he wasn't supposed to. And you know what's especially funny?
both
That game
both.
got
The
discontinued
game sucked.
and delisted. Well, I heard it was actually decently fun. It's just nobody fucking wanted
Nobody
it.
played it. Because like Final Fantasy again, stop posting 20 Final Fantasy
Final
games.
Fantasy Battle Royale, what every Final Fantasy fan wanted, where you get to be a soldier. And there's like a materia system.
Oh, he's dead. And
Yeah, Balan Wonderworld is currently
the sound of victory.
$40.
That's $40 too much.
Yeah, it is. It's depressing because I
Thank you
actually
for
think
playing
they
a
did a decent job
fantabulous
with
game.
character
I am
design
sorry much
because
for its,
I
if not
like the Knight's,
expectations,
Into
but I hope
Dreams art
fun
style,
was with
and
you.
it sucks that the people who make art that looks like that had to make a game that was bad.
There they go.
I knew it. So that is Fantabuloso game, an excellent addition to the genre. Thank for watching.
This was like a 2-hour stream for Vinny, I think, if I remember right. It's such a just weird, funny thing. Okay, I think we got 2 more videos, which are the ones that I think we posted. One of them is from More Perfect Union, and it's about Waffle House.
Let's go.
But it's like about violence and maybe not good things about the company. So I wouldn't say it's like bad, but I'm like, well, it's criticizing it, but it's an interesting, it's a different side to what we were looking at, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hash browns, and instead of being normal about it, the customer went out to his car and got a gun and threatened to shoot her over it.
You've probably seen a fight at Waffle House go viral.
Waffle House gone wild. Crazy scenes like this are playing out at Waffle Houses across the USA.
You might imagine a billion-dollar company wouldn't want their customers to associate getting punched in the face with their $11 T-bone steaks. But the corporation has largely been silent, despite workers demanding improved security. So we set out to investigate. Why? It turns out the chain's violent reputation isn't just getting views. It may be actually directly connected to Waffle House's wildly successful business model. I'm Alec
I could
Hoffman,
hear that
Union,
that
and
one
today we're
video
asking,
in particular.
Are viral brawls good for selling waffles?
When you showed the first video
I
of this
spoke
place,
to
it did pretty
several
well.
public
Yeah.
experts outside of
Maybe I got used to
suggested that
watching
this kind of
people just talk about, complain about the violence.
Turns out lots of normal people don't appreciate the lingering threat of violence while enjoying a meal. So I kept looking for answers and met someone who might know what's going on here.
Waffle House doesn't really, as a company, doesn't really do much to advertise or market its brand image.
That's true. You don't really see Waffle House.
You don't see
ads much.
advertisements.
On television.
No.
You don't really hear Waffle House.
I wish I didn't see IHOP ads.
That's Ty Mattiosky.
No.
I do too. Shout out to the Captain Crunch on the fucking IHOP pancake.
And maybe the Denny's too.
Denny's I'm okay with. Denny's
But
alright.
he thinks that Waffle
Love that
House's
there's
lack
a-
of advertising leaves it in a unique position.
I would suggest that Waffle House kind of cedes their messaging authority to others in terms of what the brand actually means.
What the plethora of fight videos does is create a specific kind of idea about Waffle House for a specific kind of person.
People oftentimes visit Waffle House with the expectation that, they may indeed witness some of these types of occurrences firsthand.
Like people that come back from the club and they think that like it's cool to like get in a fight with people that work there.
That's
Those people are just
a
assholes.
Waffle House worker who has achieved
Let's be
rockstar
real.
status.
Waffle House the corporation benefits from this because it actually gets them a lot of free publicity online.
Waffle House is a private company, so financial estimates are few and far between. Despite their reputation, Waffle House, according to one Forbes estimate, was doing substantially better in their post-COVID recovery than comparable chains like Denny's. It seems that the mass exodus of customers one might expect from their late-night brawls.
But also fuck Denny's.
Even like a bad press is still
Like, for
good
real.
press. It's press. It puts the company name out there.
Being open for 24 hours is partly to blame for the violence the chain attracts.
Oftentimes Waffle House gets kind of paralleled with Cracker Barrel, and so the idea that it's like Cracker Barrel is like the place you go after Sunday church, but Waffle House is where you go the night before when you've been drinking.
But unlike a bar or nightclub, Waffle House doesn't usually hire bouncers
The
or security
anti-Cracker
workers to
Barrel.
hopefully de-escalate situations and remove rowdy
Fascinating.
customers. Waffle Houses also feature open-air kitchens, according to Ty, which creates a new opportunity for customers to interact with staff. Those factors, combined with their reputation for being a home for fights, is an invitation for violent behavior that puts workers at risk.
This idea is reinforced that you can kind of you can let your freak flag fly at Waffle House during graveyard shift.
The night shift is particularly important to Waffle House's business. According to Waffle House's founder, Joe Rogers Sr., the night business determines whether we have enough sales to be profitable.
I'm surprised there's Shutterstock footage of a Waffle House.
Oh, wouldn't there be? There a lot of them.
I know, I just think it's kind of interesting.
Good location. Take a real rainy, blistery Tuesday or Wednesday night at 2 o'clock in the morning, park your automobile there and see how many cars pass. If you don't have many cars, you don't have a good
There is
spot.
something about
For
like
Gerald,
breakfast food at
Waffle
like
House has become a
fuck
place
all
where
in the morning.
violence
That's so
occurs
good,
on a
isn't it?
weekly
Jesus, it's a
I've made people
weekly
speed wrong
occurrence.
before and they throw
That
things at me.
sucks, actually.
I've seen people get into fights.
Gerald's concerns are echoed by many workers. One Rolling Stone article interviewed a worker who said, "I've had guns in my face. I've had to clean up blood from the lobby area. Just last week, there were 2 shootings at Waffle House. I feel scared." Waffle House is famous for staying open through many natural disasters, sometimes providing a lifeline for communities experiencing hurricanes or blizzards.
That's
While
true.
this has become a point of pride, a way Waffle House and its workers show up in times of need, it hasn't translated into safer working conditions or even adequate pay.
I figured.
Not only do workers complain of not being able to pay their bills, they have money for meals automatically deducted from their paycheck, whether they eat or not.
Wait,
Gerald
what?
says
How's
while
that
it varies
legal?
by store, Waffle House takes $30 a week from his paycheck.
The company, like, it doesn't seem interested in actually doing better.
It
just seems
doesn't
interested in
seem
making
legal,
as much money
honestly.
as possible.
One of the most horrific cases of Waffle House's disregard for its workers happened in 2017.
My friend Jesse Hall got shot while working at Waffle House. He was hanging outside with a server. They were talking to each other when these
Why?
guys walked up and attempted to rob
Ugh.
the server.
Oh, they were trying
They
to
shot him
rob.
in the back.
Company bad.
To be clear, this was a robbery, not a drunken brawl. But Waffle House's response was characteristically grotesque.
They closed for like maybe about like an hour or so, but then they were open back up again and taking orders. They told me, "Yo, yeah, Jesse got shot and killed last night." And I was like, did you guys think that wasn't important to tell me before I came into work? I guess they didn't think that.
Did they do anything to improve security or anything like that to make sure stuff like this didn't happen again?
Yeah, they put up a fence and they made a bench as a memorial for Jesse, but like, you know, actual tangible things to improve
See,
safety.
this is the
security at
thing, is like
store,
even
no. Like they
like,
sometimes say things like,
I'm
"We
sure
believe
you've
that we're all
seen
a big
restaurants
family
in,
and that
in
we all
not
need
the
to stay
safest
together."
places. They
It's
have
almost
you know
as
they
if
have
they
a
are
person at the
related.
door
They do
sometimes.
become
They'll
family.
have
The Waffle House
bars if
becomes
need
a
be,
Waffle
which
Home.
it sucks when that
But,
has to
like,
happen,
you know,
and you definitely
But
have
it,
to go into a
but
diner
it's,
and
but it is a,
Done, you know,
but it is a
that's
thing, and it.
like, you
Yeah,
know, that's
sometimes
one of the reasons why I
sometimes it's
got
not a great
involved
area,
in
and
union
sometimes you
organizing,
have to
you know,
have
corporations,
security.
They put us out here. They wear
Like
our
sometimes a
bodies
person at the
down
door
over
is
years,
enough.
and
Like it won't stop a
instead of
robbery, but it'll at least
actually,
stop
like,
people who
caring
think that they
about
can
the
just
people
play
being
around.
they
assholes.
put into
Yeah.
these stores. They just have us work until our last day.
And then who
It's
knows?
important
Maybe
to note
eventually it
that
doesn't
it
become a
wasn't
problem
always
anymore, and you
like
don't need them
this.
anymore.
Waffle House used to be one of the highest paying jobs under you can get while having to have a lot of education. But over the years, it's just progressively gotten worse.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Non-union too.
Well, no, but that's getting paid a lot, despite the fact you don't have a good education, is not
Is very
that
good.
uncommon for smaller private companies like this.
Right, but
it
like
is not getting better; it's getting worse. That's getting rarer.
Put into these stores, they just have us work until our last day.
It's important to note that
Like
it wasn't
Costco used to
always
be a
like
great
this.
place to work. Now I
Waffle
hear
House used
they're
to be one of the
dealing with
highest
a lot of
paying
shit.
jobs under you can
Chick-fil-A
get while having to have a
historically
lot of
pretty good place
education.
to work.
But over the years, it's just progressively gotten worse and worse.
My
Whataburger,
check
too.
averaged from $300 to $250. I get nothing.
Gerald and the Union of Southern Service Workers
That's a
are
lot
demanding
of
better
money.
working conditions at Waffle House and across the
How the
service
heck
industry.
are you
They've
get,
started
ranking
petitioning not
in
only for
somewhere between
$25
$250
an hour
to
for cooks and servers, but
$300
round-the-clock
per
security.
check?
Shouldn't have to be an MMA fighter to work and provide for your family.
I have
also
to see
hell
a
yeah,
pain doctor
union.
twice a month, just so I can get out of bed and work.
Gerald and the USSW collected and delivered 13,000 signatures for their demands to Waffle House corporate, but they were not greeted as family.
Has to go to the loading dock. Also said that was going to cause police. That's okay.
We're gonna get it delivered through all 13,000 printed off signed petitions in the trash.
In a similar show of familial ties, striking workers in South Carolina said management pulled them aside and told them if they didn't stop, there would be consequences. The workers filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. Waffle House is clearly interested in keeping their labor cost as low as possible, putting workers and customers at risk to protect their bottom line. A Forbes interview revealed as much when it reported the company's post-COVID recovery was hopeful as the company saw increasing sales despite only using 80% of their normal workforce. Meanwhile,
not
Waffle House
good.
workers are living paycheck to paycheck and facing constant violence.
$25 an hour will transform my life. For a lot of people that work at Waffle House, it would give them time to be with their families, be able to, spend time away from work.
I'm out here on strike today in honor of Jesse's memory.
I support them for $25 an hour. That'd be dope.
Gerald and the USSW are organizing across the South, which has long been hostile to unions. But with a wave of successful agitation across the nation, Gerald is hopeful.
A manager told me once that I had to learn how to win fights in order to work at a Waffle House. I've been saying back, we need to learn how to fight for our rights. We need to learn how to organize. We've seen Teamsters stand up and demand higher wages. We've seen UAW get big wins lately. Nurses and teachers are going on strike all across the country. I think this is
What's
time for us
UAW?
to,
Union of
stand up.
Agricultural Workers?
Oh,
Auto
we
workers.
have higher
Okay.
wages.
That is one funky union, Chan, and that's the only way.
People can actually have security within their
fuck yeah.
lives, and they can actually do the things that they really want to do.
That's a
That's how we do
jam.
it. That's how they do it in Georgia.
That's how they do in Georgia. Fuck
Thanks
yeah.
for watching.
So all the
Don't
good
forget to
music in
like
this
and
country comes
subscribe.
from it.
I'm very proud. I'm kind of proud of. I'm actually no, not kinda. I am proud of them trying to unionize. That's always important. But especially in an area that especially in an area of the country that unions aren't necessarily
A lot of places here are right-to-work states, meaning that
Yeah.
you cannot be compelled to join a union, and you can kind of get fired at any time. And a union, I believe, can't force you to pay dues. I think I wouldn't be surprised if outside of auto workers and a few more niche stuff like oil, there's definitely unions here, but they're not an institution. I have people I know who are in the Rust Belt, and they're really pro union there because they either have family that are in the auto worker union, or they know someone who is. They're 2 degrees away from someone in a union, whereas here it's oh yeah, my grandpa was in an iron worker union 40 years ago, not anymore though, and he hates unions, which is hilarious because he benefited from one. It's kind of a very mainstream opinion here to just the default that unions are bad for you and are going to screw you over, but it seems like it's somewhat changing.
It's changing because it's okay, collective action works. It's working for a lot of people. They're all doing it. We might as well fucking try for it, you know? Or it's that one Simpsons.
Also, you can't really just quit. That was
You also
always the
can't quit.
argument is oh, you don't like your job, just quit and get a different job. And
No.
it was always kind of bullshit, but that's
quitting in this economy? No.
in an era of increasing consolidation, that's especially not practical because all the other companies are the same.
Yeah. Not every union is going to be like SAG were this week. Yeah. I don't know what the hell SAG was up. Why did
Oh, SAG did some crazy shit where they said
no AI. We signed a contract for AI.
Specifically for video games too.
Yeah, I'm wait, what?
How come the video and I think I saw Steve Bloom, the man himself, he put out a statement or something where he was video games are a huge chunk of my income. Hell no. I don't consent to that.
And there were people talking about how people were getting super there's a side thing about people bitching about video game work not being considered real work or something, you know? It's not good.
Yeah. I mean, I will say they have to vote on that. A lot of people are probably
Yeah, but I'm just okay, I want to see what the other responses are from the circle of people who I know are in
SAG
or in SAG or the Writers Guild. Well, This
Writers
is
Guild,
thi-
I don't- I-
this is SAG specific, right? Not the Writers Guild.
This is specifically for voice actors.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of wanna see what the people in the voice actor community talk about the SAG stuff, because I know the writers got
Every single thing
mostly
I've
what they wanted.
Every single thing I've seen from people who are either members or associated with members has been like they think it's a shit deal and they're not gonna vote for it. Like I feel like that's kind of a deal breaker, no? Because like every union agreement with a big company like that, you have to vote on it generally.
It is. So we'll see. Oh, hey Rose. Well, you're here. You're just in time for like the last video. Don't worry. The last video is good.
Yeah, the last video is funny.
It's funny and
It
good.
opens with a gut punch.
And how much I hate business. Yeah.
Oh, I have no doubt that you're capable of making me look like an idiot regardless of what I say today.
Where's this gonna be? YouTube. Do you think professors look at YouTube videos?
No. Do you ever meet students who are unethical?
Sure.
Get a partner now. There's no one here. The dating is horrible. Don't do it.
The dating?
Can confirm.
MBA can be very helpful for that. It's not a degree for everybody.
There are too many
It's how
MBAs
people
being
getting
produced.
MBAs.
Today I woke up at 8 a.m., went to the gym until 9 a.m., took a shower.
Like quick, but also sad lovemaking.
Because I was crying like every week.
By the way, your apartment looks like a hotel where someone goes to kill themselves, but just saying.
You're probably wondering.
I love that so much.
What I thought was an immaculately decorated apartment, but to
What are you fucking talking about? There's nothing here. There's nothing on the wall. I mean, it's an apartment. But also, like, the only nice piece of decor you have in the apartment is the thermometer you can't fucking touch.
He's got that nice varnish on his wood door, though.
Oh boy, I bet he did it himself. And what a great lamp.
Why does he have just I guess that's if he's reading in bed or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, because
Get a
that's his bed.
Kindle, weirdo. Anyway.
No, this is fine.
Get a
one has to
standing
traverse
lamp.
the
Either
long
way.
road back
Like a
to the
floor
start of today's investigation, which took us deep into the mysterious breeding ground where the next generation of business leaders are
This room upsets me.
rabbit hole where corporate larvae retreat to undergo metamorphosis.
Corporate
I'm talking,
larvae.
of course, about business school.
Business school exists for people who don't know what they want to do with their lives. And so they go to business school and try and figure it out.
And yeah, they somehow make more money than me.
Administration,
Yeah.
or MBA, has been the most popular graduate
MBA.
degree in America since 2010. Roughly
Pause that. Let's go back to that
250,000
one.
people
That one
are
might surprise you.
This?
Yeah. Look at what the other options are for the other like top 5.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Computer sciences support services. I'm shocked.
Why is this the lowest one here?
No, the lowest one is public administration social services.
Well, I mean, only until recently, but like.
Well, I mean,
if this is a chart of the last 10 years. But like, this is like, well, it's like also, damn, that sucks. Oh,
that's 40,000 people in the entire.
health profession. Okay. Education. That's really vague, but okay. And then we got business, who's been incredibly constant.
graduate degree in America since 2010. Roughly 250,000 people are enrolled in MBA programs worldwide, with over 150,000 here in the US. However, only a tiny fraction of those students are enrolled in so-called top-tier MBA programs, stemming from universities like Harvard, Northwestern, Duke, and other stickers on the back of the Jeep Grand Cherokee that just cut you off. And yet, despite these programs' prestige, some critics wonder if the degree is too expensive, too exclusive, or just plain overrated. So what's up with business school?
Wait, what was that last one?
Exclusive, or just
Students are dropping like 200K to go to somewhere called
Good Work Times.
Students are dropping like 200K to go to somewhere called Fuqua. Lol.
plain overrated. So what's up with business school? I spoke to students, experts, and exactly 2 bald men to investigate as thoroughly as I could. Our
2
investigation
bald men.
began at the Darden School of Business in Charlottesville, Virginia, where I spoke with students to try to better understand life inside an MBA program.
MBAs, what do we think of them?
Interesting bunch.
How'd you end up here?
I was having a good time at my old
That's-
job, but decided that I wanted to do something different. And business school seemed like the best and most expensive way to do it.
Why?
He knows he made a mistake.
He knows he spent a lot of money.
I like how the first two interviews are.
It's like, well, I could have.
The first two interviews are the first two The first two interviews were, it's bad, and I made a mistake. Or what was the first person? What did they say again? Oh, they're fucking. It's they're weird, and I made a mistake. There we go.
I wanted to do something different, and business schools seem like the best and most expensive way to do it.
Why get an MBA?
I think it helps you understand all of the facets of running a business, see multiple people's perspectives, like accounting or legal or marketing.
And why is it necessary to know marketing's perspective? They're stupid. Has it ever happened where you hadn't done
He's
something
right.
you were called on?
No.
Do you read the cases every time?
I do not.
The average
No.
Darden student.
No one
I think
does.
it's two kinds. You know, like people who went to prep school and who feel like they've always been the cool kids, but are really not the cool kids. You have that as like the average students. And then the other end is people who are actually cool kids, but don't think they're cool kids.
Maybe if there was a prep kid standing right next to you, you would say, no, I actually think he's very cool.
I would be frank to say no.
Destroyed.
What's more useful to know for a life in business, ethics or
Ruined.
golfing?
Oh, that's like a really hard question, actually. Probably golfing.
Today I woke up at 8 a.m., went to the gym until 9 a.m., took a shower, grabbed coffee at Darden, went to class. It started 10. I was late as usual, 10:10. 10 minutes late. I
The
just came back from
increasing
classes. I was gonna
Zoom really
change
adds
clothes,
a
go
lot.
to play tennis.
It's basically Darden Friday, so it's Thursday, so I'm done for the week. I'm heading out to the West Coast for a concert.
What concert is this?
It's a Coldplay concert.
It was beginning to sound
Ooh.
like business school was the absolute tits. The only problem was that one extremely boring thing
Ooh.
kept coming up. What
Coldplay.
industry did you work in prior to your MBA?
Consulting.
And
I'm gonna hold on. I'm just gonna point out real quick.
Patagonia.
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 Patagonia mentioned.
Jacket.
Patagonia jacket. I've seen these
Why you
at
gotta
my.
button up when you're going to college, weirdo? You can wear whatever you want.
It's college. No one gives a shit.
Maybe he has a
Patagonia.
job, who knows?
I mean, like, no. Let's listen to what he was doing before going to business school.
what are you hoping to work in after your MBA?
Consulting.
Now,
He was just a consultant.
Yeah.
So fuck him. You have no idea how much I go into like the elevators at work and
Alma, you are
see
aware that
people in.
you
I know.
are aware that the place you live is one of the biggest hubs for consulting in the country.
I know, but I see so many people wear Patagonia out like jackets, sweaters, and vests, and I have no damn clue where they buy them.
They buy them at the Patagonia store.
There is no Patagonia store where I am.
They probably buy them at a different.
If you walk 5 minutes away from my business, you go to see fucking Louis Vuitton and Tag Heuer. Like,
There's probably a.
I don't know where it is. Where do they get these? They like just manifest out of the ether.
There's one on Newbury Street.
Wait, seriously?
Yes. Opens 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Hold on,
It is.
I'm looking this up right now. I want to see how much their shit is.
It's right next to Newbury Comics and UGG
Wow, how did I?
and Anime Zaka.
What?
I don't know.
How did I? How did I ignore that for so long?
Anyway, moving on.
No. $25 for. Huh?
Alma, it's a luxury clothing brand. This is what their shit's expensive. And these guys aren't even luxury. These are just on the high end.
These
not
are
a
like
pack of
fake
underwear, by the
luxury.
way. That's
That's
like,
a
well,
single. These are.
It's like Champion. Champion was not a high end brand until
That is a single pair of underwear for $25.
I mean, I bought a pair of underwear for $28 and it wasn't worth it.
That is a $50 sports.
I
you know
can
what? That's
understand spending like $100 on a jacket, like a good jacket that's quality and it's gonna last a long time. But underwear, no. Who cares? If you're
Hold on, I just want to point something out.
More than $10 on a pair of underwear, then it better be lingerie.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably pay this much for these jackets because they're probably going to last a long time.
I'd buy them on clearance.
I mean, you could always do that, yeah.
I buy them only on clearance. Anyway. Alma, remember when this tweet was memed to oblivion? What tweet? I'm gonna retweet. Now I want art of me in a Patagonia. I think it'd be funny. That's my twitch. That's my dashboard. That's not what I wanted. That's my that I didn't want that either. No. Hold on. What? Also, no. Patagonia. It's like they're memed into oblivion anyway. Same goes with Yeti mugs, and I also have a Yeti mug.
Yeah, Yeti mugs are all right. They're
they're
fine.
They're overpriced, but they're useful. Anyway.
It's NBA.
So it's Thursday, so I'm done for the week. I'm heading out to the West Coast for a concert.
What concert is this?
It's a Coldplay concert.
I like this. I just like the audio sync for Coldplay.
Was the absolute
Coldplay.
The problem was that one extremely boring thing kept coming up.
What industry did you work in prior to your MBA?
Consulting.
And what are you hoping to work in after your MBA?
Consulting.
Now, what do you?
Do you think Spot the Patagonia would be a really good drinking game?
I would be going into consulting.
I feel like it's a great way to get alcohol poisoning, depending on what part of the country you're in.
And the second one is a community consultants of Darden.
True.
So I'm going into consulting, but specifically for nonprofits and philanthropists.
What industry did you work in prior to Darden?
I was doing consulting before.
Got it. And are you?
This guy is at least humble. We got Calvin Klein.
Different type of consulting. I used to do financial services consulting, and now I will do strategy consulting.
Mark, where did you?
So
what did
much
you do before
consulting.
business school?
I was a consultant.
And what do you hope to do after business school?
Definitely not consulting.
Valid.
Some diversity. Thanks, Mark. But I had to know, what was
Thanks,
it about
Mark.
business school that prepared these people for a world in consulting?
What were some of the skills that you learned
School of
during your
Theatrical
time
into
here at
consulting.
Darden that you think are going to be applicable to this new job in consulting?
Being able to say something that sounds like you know what you're doing when maybe you don't.
Part of this is learning how to give an answer, even if you know a quarter of the answer.
We'll never give a definitive answer because then you'll be held accountable for it.
Trying to convince the client whatever you're saying is the right thing to do.
Funniest Patagonia memes for finance guys and
big-buck
Rusty talks to
industries like tech and finance are
Yeah.
often what these MB baddies are aiming for. But the reality of tossing back Sauv Blanc at a Deloitte networking event is often less
Learning
glamorous
to fake
than
it.
one might
Yeah.
think.
What was the recruiting process like for consulting? We've
Listen
heard
to how
that
bad
it's
this
very
is. It's hell.
Fun is relative.
So basically they'll come and they'll go to a winery and then you stand in a circle and then you try to talk to one person even though there's 10 or 15 of you and you try to get in one question and make an impression and then you send a bunch of emails and have coffee chats.
Darkest time of my life.
Why?
You say the same thing each time, and you have to do literally 100 if you're recruiting investment banking. You say, hi, I'm Kiana from the Philippines. The reason why I did an MBA was this. The reason why I wanted to go into investment banking is this. And I love your bank because of this. And it's the exact same thing at each point. Now imagine doing that 100 times.
No, thank you. It takes a lot
Philippines
weirder stuff than
mention.
that to get me off. It was
At least she's
this
a-
point that I realized
at
talking
least
to these
she's
silver
a
tongue consultant
banker.
hopefuls wasn't
Or
going to get
consultant
me
and
anywhere.
not,
I
like-
needed to go straight to the top. Instead of talking to the people
I don't know,
who
any
learn
other
the
job?
lessons at business school, I was going to meet the ones who teach them.
Beautiful day out.
Business school professors. I don't know any myself, so I googled
I love that
famous
he's
business
like-
school professors and found this guy.
What's the point of business school?
What is the point of
Is that a
business
genuine
school?
question? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a theory of ties. When you realize they're a symbol of authority, and then you realize where they point, you have to see them as decorative.
And what happens if they're looking like this? Is that?
Well, I don't know what it says about what they're pointing to.
Adam Grant is a New York Times bestselling author, organizational psychologist, serial TED Talker, former
Talking,
magician, and current professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of
So
Business.
many
Ed
items.
Freeman is a professor at Darden who I think just made a dick joke.
I think the point of business school is to teach people to be better at running businesses, maybe. And by better, I mean both more effective and also more responsible.
Back in the day,
sincerely
I
hope.
would say the focus of the MBA was on how to make money. I come along and I teach ethics, and that's a very small piece of it. Now, it's a much bigger a part of the MBA.
How have you seen business school evolve?
I think in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, we actually saw far fewer bankers show up here. And we also saw fewer students want to become bankers. That means we have probably a few more consultants.
Consulting.
Also a lot more students going into tech and entrepreneurship, but also a lot more public service, which I think has enriched the class.
Yay, public
Good
service.
to see less bankers, correct?
I don't know that I want fewer bankers. I would like more bankers who are trying to figure out how to build a financial system that serves people.
Dan Tooney, forehead vein goes
All right,
crazy.
I want to become a banker and maximize my own income. I've had students walk into my office and say, my goal is to become
YouTube
as
Studio
rich
crashed.
as humanly possible. Can you give me advice about how to do that?
Why is ethics necessary in business?
And there's this old story of business. That business is just about the money. It's just about money for shareholders. I tell people I teach business ethics. You know what they say. I didn't know business had any. 2 words. You put them together, oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. Funny YouTube channel, I don't know. You know,
The typical person who should be applying to business.
Why does he keep getting burned like this
I
so
think a lot of the
much?
people who do apply are basically career enhancers. They both want to improve their credentials and also gain knowledge and build their networks to try to accelerate wherever they're climbing. I think business school is actually better for career switchers than career enhancers. Business school is a great way to reevaluate your options and spend 2 years learning, hopefully, and getting to know new people. And
it's
then
just
being
2
able to
years?
Pivot after that.
That's
the
not
makeup
bad.
of a
But
business
$200,000.
school class today, how has that changed?
well, I would say when I first started, it's mostly white guys. I could never keep them all straight. They were all named Jim or Chip or an occasional Hiroshi. And now we have students from, Christ, 35 countries or more.
I think when I got here, the class was hovering around 40% women for MBAs, and we hit 50% a few years ago and have maintained that ever since. So frankly, that was long overdue. I can't believe it took us that long. So we have more women. I guess by definition, that means fewer men.
And that's a crisis.
For whom?
Back me up here.
I definitely don't think that's a crisis.
Right. That's what I meant.
After chopping it up with the boys, I was
Insane.
feeling optimistic about the state of business school. But over the course of our investigation, reports were
Very
beginning to
funny
pile
bit.
up,
Good
indicating
bit.
that the momentum of top MBA programs might be coming to a halt. Jeff Pfeffer, a professor at Stanford's Graduate School of Business, foresaw something like this slowdown over 20 years ago when he and Christina
Whoa.
Fong published their article, The End of Business Schools. So we decided to fuck up some commas on Morning Brew's travel budget and meet Jeff at his house near Stanford University in California.
Well, the state of business education is
Guy we just mentioned.
there are too many MBAs being produced. If you were a university and you looked around 20 or
Dan
30 or
Tooney,
40
not a
years
university.
ago and saw the growth of MBA education and saw the MBA tuition is higher than the university tuition, you would say, this is a booming business. I can make a lot of money. And so you'd start business schools. And so there was a proliferation of the start of business schools. And so the market overshot. Unless you go to a top 5 or top 10 school, you're not going to get much.
You don't think it's not worth it?
The difference between the students who go to the very elite business schools and the others is the difference in the placement is huge and gotten bigger. You need to go to a top business school, or else it's probably not worth the investment.
So Jeff says there's so many MBA programs nowadays that it's only really worth it if you go to one of the best ones, where you still stand a good chance of landing an elite corporate job. Scott Galloway, a media personality and professor at NYU Stern, told us more about the relationship between elite MBA programs and the companies that hire their students. Also, I'm realizing he looks like an exact combination of 2 other men from this very video.
By the way, your apartment looks like a hotel where someone goes to kill themselves, but just saying.
What the fuck?
The admissions department is really the core
Why?
competence of an elite school.
Apartment looks like
What
Susan's
they say
bathroom.
to corporations is, we've screened 2,000 applicants. We force them to interview, take tests, get letters of
Sultan's-
recommendation. We run a
Sultan's
credit
bathroom.
score. on it, for
Sultan's
God's
bathroom.
sakes.
Oh.
So we're basically a
I read that
giant
as
HR
Susan, as in
department that
CEO of
corporations will pay
YouTube
a huge
Susan.
premium to get our pre-screened candidates. And the customer in a business school is not the student. The student's the product. The customer is the corporation who's willing to pay an individual substantially more with that certification than they would pay that person pre-certification.
So what's going on with business school? We got people trying
What's
to
the
change
deal?
careers, enhance careers, take a break
With
from the
business
grind,
school.
and chill out for a couple of years. People consuming inordinate amounts of coffee while making small talk with KPMG employees. We got every flavor of consultant. We got people moving across the world to attend, and we got tons of people competing to get into a small group of elite programs. And if that all sounds gravy, then by golly, business school is
The
right
suit is
for
such
you.
product is such a grim thing to
We
say.
should pursue an MBA.
Yeah.
They're hopeless.
Just maybe not for me.
College is a place where people go to learn many things. For example, how many STDs can I contract in one weekend? And to my left is the local watering hole where MBAs like to go and blow off steam after a long day in the classroom.
Bank of America.
Some go to college to study philosophy. Others go to college to study chemistry. That man went to college to learn how to be a dick to the public. And here we have a local exercise shop where business school students learn to run from the SEC. I've managed to wrangle up a
That one's good.
first year here, clearly, except less fleas, possibly the same amount of ringworm. For good work, I'm Dan Toomey. Now, if you excuse me, I got a toga party to attend.
These are all such good videos. Ooh, you know what? Tangent? I suppose we should, I want to do a local tangent. But we're not going, we're gonna go to Instagram. Because there's a local person that I follow on here that I very much enjoy, if I can find them. There we go. Yeah, Matt Shearer. He does good content. He does local stuff on Boston, and I love everything he does. This is very
Peabody to Norwood, from Clinton to Brown.
very silly content sometimes.
You ever seen those exit doors inside of the tunnels?
Of course you have. They're all over the place.
But have you ever wondered what's behind those doors? Let's find out. Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Great. This is Jonathan Gulliver, the head honcho of highways, the car czar, the master of Massachusetts Main
State Highway Administrator.
That's fine. I actually met him above ground at MassDOT's Highway Operations Center, which looks like a supervillain's hideout.
There are 1,200 cameras all across the state of Massachusetts here, and they're watching.
We do get bikes in the tunnels once in a while.
Yep.
They get people walking through the tunnels. They're not supposed to be in there.
But that's exactly what we're
I don't know how people manage to walk
Going
into,
down?
into that.
The tunnels
it's
can
terrifying.
all be accessed via vent buildings.
They're all over the place. A lot of them are just, they just become part of the landscape. Nobody even notices them there.
Others really stand out, like this one. Shout out to artist Pro Black.
And this is New England, so I've
It's a
never
cool-
seen so many
cool giant
giant
fans that drive all the air in and out.
Hello.
I'm 6'3", 5/5 of an inch, so these things are probably around 20 feet tall, and these underground rooms are almost the size of airplane hangars.
Reverb.
And the shafts are cold and dark.
Shout out to my lighting crew here.
Other rooms are lit and have things like emergency generators and water pumps, but of course the main door we came down here for. So some observations. The sidewalks feel soft from all the dust
That
and
the bottom
whatever
tunnels
else
all
gets
the bench
kicked
for the
up.
vending
And
machine.
they do clean
Yeah.
the tunnels every couple weeks. Otherwise, you might not notice the color coding.
Brown tiles, that means that we're in an area that has earth above it. Blue tiles, it means you're underwater.
Plus, if you need to make a quick escape, you're not going to care how dirty the door may be, but you may find comfort in knowing that there are elevators back here.
Hopefully people see there's a lot more behind these tunnels than just a roadway. No radioactive turtles, though.
From the sidewalk in the O'Neill Tunnel, I'm Matt Shearer. For more on the underground, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
I listen to Traffic on the Threes. That's the quickest source of information.
You ever seen those
There's
exit
just neat stuff about the local area. Let me see. And occasional dumb things, but... Oh yeah, this one's good.
No, definitely no. Oh, come on. No one's going to buy a picture of a stranger.
You're the probably 11th person to buy one of these, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I did. That's Noah Scafati, and he sells his picture to strangers for a side hustle.
Shipped them to Ohio, Maine,
Weird
Vermont.
side hustle.
Had someone in New Zealand ask about one.
No, he's not famous or anything.
I mean, this is just from Friday alone.
Just a 24-year-old from Franklin living in Dorchester getting screenshot and reposted all around the world.
I've had over 400 people reach out asking for one of these. Some of the comments I get and requests are a little bit
NSFW. I've been offered, $1 million for it.
It's literally just his LinkedIn picture.
Some would say this is priceless.
I feel like we should be friends.
Let's do it.
Now that I actually know the guy, I bought 2.
It's kind of shocking how many people actually want a photo of someone else. It's really amazing to me.
And who knows, he might be famous someday. It's an investment, like NFTs, but in real life.
I'm worried I might have to start reporting this to the IRS.
Maybe there's some trade value here.
You got heads in the trunk.
My landlord didn't like them. Yeah, they're in the trunk. Okay. So this is what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
Yum.
How many heads do you think I could get for this?
Is this? You can have 2 heads.
2 heads for that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
From back home, I'm Matt Shearer. For more,
I like
ask
how
Alexa
just
to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.
Just weird stuff.
No.
Just weird things that are local to me. Oh, this one's cute. Let's see. This one
I believe in you. Nothing can stand in your way.
Reddit can't stand him. IG loves him. Facebook is whatever, but we can all agree.
Nobody likes a parking ticket.
But what if instead of being parking tickets, they were like positive message for people?
That's Ethan LeBlanc, the art student who placed nearly 800 fake parking tickets on cars in and around
positive
Boston over the
affirmations.
weekend.
You are kind. You look great today.
So, some frequently asked questions. 1, is it legal? Here's his friend and co-conspirator Auden Malone.
What's the worst trouble we could get into? And it did say we could get in trouble for impersonating a police officer.
2, was he looking to get paid?
There's no way to send me money. I was not asking for money.
No, the actual point here was for a school project where he needed to distribute
activity
for
for offender.
Next question, how did people react?
And then I read it and started laughing. Like, this is great.
Any negative feedback?
A couple of people have been like, this is a terrible way to spread positivity, to like make someone think that their day's ruined with a parking ticket. Like,
next time what you can do is like throw mud at somebody and then offer them a wet cloth.
For sure. I was thinking maybe a paper towel roll or something.
And say, here, this is for you. I'm spreading positivity.
So yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions for everyone involved.
It's just positive affirmations.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
I haven't violated any laws yet, but I am 85, so I still have time to violate it.
I'm not trying to fluff this one up. I just like the music. A lot of people online are roasting Ethan, though.
I didn't want anyone to think that this was about causing panic or upsetting someone's day.
But criticism is a good learning opportunity, and that's just what school projects are for.
I just want to take every opportunity
good night.
to like bring people together and like do something nice to make someone's day, even if it's in a small scale.
That's the guy. Thanks, man. From Beacon Hill, I'm Matt Shearer. For more, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio. Woohoo!
This is cute. Oh yeah, this was stupid. This last one's stupid and funny because students are great sometimes. Last one, I guess.
He did it. He friggin' did it. This is a story of a brave explorer who crossed the Charles River in a big-ass pumpkin.
I asked for something like 900 pounds, but they just told me today that it's about 1,500 pounds.
It started a couple weeks ago when Ben Chang posted on Reddit looking for a forklift to move the giant beast he just bought.
Obviously, as undergrads, we don't have forklifts readily available.
Tim Myra saw it and was like,
I think it's awesome. Oh, can't say that, sorry.
So he volunteered one of his many forklifts, as long as he didn't have to get wet.
Come on, the Charles River? Come out of there with a third leg. Oh, there's our pumpkin. Oh my god.
So why is Ben willing to risk life and extra limb?
What better way to capture the fascination of biology than with a giant pumpkin?
In other words, he wants to use this behemoth to raise some money for his student-led lab.
My parents are not super happy that this is happening.
So we pushed,
3, 2, 1.
pulled,
Go!
Okay.
rolled, chopped, scooped,
Eat it.
accidentally cracked,
I say duct tape it, honestly.
shimmied,
Water.
and set sail.
Congrats, Captain. Let's go, Ben! Thank you.
Woohoo! Ahoy!
But before the historic expedition
I like
began,
reporting on weird
Ben
things.
offered short cruises in exchange for donations.
I'm just gonna spin in circles. I feel like I'm in the womb again.
And then he was off.
Probably still faster than the T.
And soon enough,
We did it.
How do you feel?
Again, this is unbelievable. To be in a pumpkin boat and to run across the Charles and to raise so much money for student-led bio research.
I'm drifting away. We'll talk on the other side.
Sounds good.
From the Charles River, I'm Matt Shearer, and that's Ben who just made history. For more on this historic voyage, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio. Fist bump. Yeah.
And also, if I remember, right, this was the reporter who talked about the lack of a Dunkin' Donuts in the city. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
No.
What? This was like super. This one like actually like very viral. If I can find it. Ooh, donut. Well, I mean, you know the one that he was talking about beforehand, right? Like the one you know, he was the guy who went to like the Dunkin'.
Yeah, but I don't know one about him finding one that didn't have one.
Oh shoot, hold on. I bet I can find it if I Googled it. Wait. Now, okay, at this point, I'm just scrolling through this man's Instagram. Hold on. What? Okay. Are you kidding me? Okay. Whatever. This will probably be fine.
Last week, we brought you the story of the severe lack of Dunkin' in Stowe, Massachusetts.
It's a real problem. The original TikTok from our good friend Matt Shearer over at WBZ News Radio caused enough of a fuss to go viral. But it doesn't end there. His video is brewing change within the community, and Matt cut up with a few of the Dunkin' lists to find out their reaction.
The Dunkin' list.
Last week, I shared the heartbreaking story of Stowe, a town that lost both of its Dunkins this year.
I was pretty depressed about it, really sad. It was awful.
What's your message to Dunkin' Donuts?
Get back. Get your crap together. We need it.
Then, my story went viral, with coverage everywhere, from international media outlets to Stowe Public Access TV.
Stowe is now being called a Dunkin's desert.
It was parodied on TikTok.
One of their 27 Dunkin' Donut coffee shops was closed.
Yeah, I thought it was a dream. Like that one where I kissed Randy Moss.
And Stowe resident Carrickillo even started selling t-shirts about it.
This is amazing.
So this week, I returned the favor, donating donuts to
Also, Brandy, did you notice the person who made the parody video?
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
Where are you?
How's it taste?
I want a donut now.
Coconut? And even some for town administrator Denise Demkowski.
Hi. I'm Matt from WBZ News Radio. I brought you a present.
And she shared with me some exciting news.
Dunkin's corporate office has reached out. They want to do a pop-up in town sometime next week. They are feeling the pressure as well.
When asked whether the saga would have a happy ending, she said,
To be continued.
To help you feel better about the fact that you don't have a Dunks here?
No. I still want the Dunkin' Donuts.
What's your name?
David. My son's mother. She can't live without it.
The bells.
Oh, Matt. Matt joins us here. Matt Shearer from WBZ Radio back in here. But you are really
Love the
making
shirt,
some change
too.
with this story in the community.
Yes, as you just heard, the town administrator said Dunkin's is working on bringing a pop-up to town. That's exciting. I also have a statement from Dunkin'. They told me that they are interested in serving the Stowe community again in the future. No other announcements beyond that, but fingers crossed.
Are you a celebrity now in Stowe? Because not only did this video go
Are you a celebrity
uber
now?
viral, you're making change in the community. We might get results out of this.
Yeah, no, this story is probably the biggest thing to happen to Stowe since maybe the Revolutionary War. Yes. I went in there and I was walking around the parking lot and people were like, it's the Dunkin's guy, it's the Dunkin's guy. So yeah, and it felt great. And as you saw too, I was passing out donuts, and that's always a way to win people over, is to bring donuts, by the way.
Oh, you brought donuts.
For you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's so funny
that's
that you...
so funny.
He didn't bring a fucking Boston cream. You fool. Look. He didn't even get a Boston cream. He got jelly-filled, glazed, a couple covered sprinkles, like 2 chocolate cake donuts, and then some old fashions here too, and a powdered one. I'm like,
Because we brought you.
why?
Oh my God.
See, look,
Thousands of donuts got surplus.
Oh, they didn't even get a. Wait, no, is that a.
Yeah, I love that he got us a dozen.
That. Oh, no. See, look, they got him a Boston Cream and a curler. They clearly care more about him than he does about them.
Half a dozen.
I'm one man, you're a full studio. I think it's fair, but this is great.
Awesome.
My personal favorite donuts, though, are, in fact, Boston Cream.
They're pretty good. I went to a place a couple of weeks ago and they were out.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucks. I got a filled bar instead, which was all right.
It is.
Yes, but without the iced coffee, what good is a cider?
Exactly. Matt Shearer, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
you can
thanks for
see
having me.
all of
Thanks,
his TikToks on WBZ News
You know the-
Radio. He is so fun to follow.
You know what's stupid now about this? Because of how much I'm like I want to say very clearly Bostonian. I'm like, maybe I should have like a edit to my VTuber model where I have a bit of pink, like Dunkin' Donuts pink on me.
Maybe.
I
That'd
think
be kind of cute.
It'd be kind of cute. It wouldn't be very explicit because I don't want to get in trouble with legal, but I think it'd be cute.
A legal part of the guild house.
Yeah, legal.
The
I mean,
legal department.
I'm already skirting the line, you know that. Like there's a lot of other things that I'm like, this is legally distinct, not Starbucks. Please don't hurt me.
You could say it's not Starbucks, like, or dumb Starbucks like Nathan Fielder.
It's dumb Starbucks. That is true.
You know about that, right?
No.
Oh, you'll have to look that up later.
I think I feel like I know what it is, but still like, you know. Oh, did you see the new some of the new fun 3D printer stuff that they had?
No.
Look at this silly guy.
This is one of the most interesting 3D printer upgrades I'm aware
Oh.
of. It's called the Nomi 2, and it basically adds two things to your machine. Some personality with its animations, which is nice, and an extra degree of control with its round touchscreen. It's customizable to match your 3D printer, and can even support modules and sensors with its numerous GPIO pins and I2C output. It's been fun to use, so I recommend checking it out. My full video is linked below.
It's a cute little guy with a face. I just like it's just a cute little guy and there's a face on it.
Here's
and
one
that's a
that's
display.
imperfection.
I love that. Okay. I think that's all for today. So let's get out of here. Thank you, Brandon, once again for joining me. You're always a delight to be on with.
Yay. I'm validated.
By the way, why do you sound so crunchy?
I don't know. Do I sound crunchy?
You're like you're having some funny mic going on right now.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me check something.
You got some funny mic going on and I hear your audio. Like
Hold on. Let me try and test a few things.
Okay.
Did it just start?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Why?
What about now?
Better. What happened?
Okay, well, that's not doing what I thought.
There's less echo, but you're good.
It says it's... Oh. What about now?
Better. You're much quiet, but...
Too quiet?
Too quiet.
Okay, how about now?
You're good.
Okay, I think it might have been a Discord thing.
You're like, yeah, you like it went
no,
up.
No,
like,
it's not a Discord thing. Hold on.
Okay, anyway, I'll just do my outro if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Next week, it's gonna be good. I think I'm gonna finally do the 3DS modding stream. And see if I can manage to do that in 3 hours or whatever, how much time I have with that.
Figured it out.
What was it?
My input gain on my mic got cranked up all the way somehow.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. And I don't know what other video games to play. I have some ideas, but we'll see. I did get my paycheck today, so maybe I can shop around and buy something new.
We talked about this Metroid.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I have a plan for Metroid,
Okay.
but well, I will workshop it. I'm gonna send you guys over to Starcross channel.
I thought you were gonna say StarCraft for like 2 seconds.
No. And they're playing Lethal Company with friends. So
Lethal Company seems neat. I wish I had friends that would play it with me.
Me too. All right.
play it
and,
with you.
Well, not me too, but also not really. Well, and of course, to everybody, make sure you say before you go, have a good evening, have a good weekend, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.